Chapter 1781 The Breakthrough of the Lord of Mingyan, the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm. Years go by. In the blink of an eye, another eternal era passed. On this day, a big thing happened in the Holy Land, that is, the Lord of Mingyan took control of the space. At this time, Lord Mingyan completely controls space and time, and can step into the realm of the Peak Legendary Lord at any time. Next, Lord Mingyan only needs to become the incarnation of space again just like the Lord of Legendary Realm, and he can completely change and become the Lord of Peak Legendary Realm. There is not much danger in attacking the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm. Even if he fails, he can still attack again after resting for a period of time. Under normal circumstances, no one would stop a Legendary Realm Lord from attacking the Peak Legendary Realm Lord, unless there was a life and death revenge, and he did not want the opponent to break through, and took the opportunity to bombard the opponent. However, ordinary Legendary Realm Lords can't beat the Legendary Realm Lords who are about to break through, and the one who can beat them must be the Peak Legendary Realm Lords. Therefore, at present, there has not been an example of failure to break through in the Void area. No holy place. One after another, the lords of the Legendary Realm were on guard, and the lords of Mingyan entered the Sea of Empty, ready to make a breakthrough. In the Empty Sea, Lord Mingyan gradually merged with space, becoming the incarnation of space and the master of space. A moment, the transformation has begun. Boom! Countless space source power and time source power poured into Lord Mingyan, prompting her to complete her final promotion. Her strength is also getting stronger and stronger, completely surpassing the ordinary Legendary Lord. 10 times, 100 times. Unconsciously, the strength of Lord Mingyan increased hundreds of times. At this time, she could easily obliterate an ordinary Legendary Lord. This is the strength of the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, and he is still the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm for the first time. It is conceivable how terrifying the powerhouses who have cultivated countless eternal eras at the Lord level of the Peak Legend Realm. Ordinary Legendary Realm Lords are really like ants to these Peak Legendary Realm Lords. Breakthrough. Lord Mingyan was very excited. When he reached the level of the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, he realized how powerful he is now. This is the real peak, ranking at the top level of the nothingness region. When Lord Mingyan broke through, many Legendary Lords of Boundless Sea were shocked. What? Lord Mingyan broke through? The Blackwater Lord was shocked. He never expected that there would be a Legendary Lord born in the Holy Land. How could he take revenge? Not good. You must take refuge in a Legendary Lord, otherwise there is no holy place to kill me, and I will not be able to live. Lord Blackwater immediately went to Lord Wuong. No eternal holy land. The one holy land of infinite sea is also the most powerful force, built by Lord Wuong. Wuong Holy Land, Wuong Mountain. The Lord of Blackwater came to seek refuge. The Lord of Blackwater has come to seek refuge with Lord Wuong and is willing to join the holy land of Wuong. The Lord of Blackwater said. Boom! Lord Wuong appeared, looked at Lord Blackwater, and said in surprise, Lord Wuong, you want to join my Wuong Holy Land? Interesting, why do you suddenly have this idea? Wuong Holy Land can't help the Blackwater Lord, and can't help him break through. At the level of the Blackwater Lord, you can almost only rely on yourself. The Lord of Blackwater said helplessly, the 3,000 Yuanlands of the Holy Land were originally mine, but they were stolen by the Holy Land, and now there is a Peak Legendary Lord born in the Holy Land, and I am afraid that the Holy Land will kill them. 3,000 kites are yours. Lord Wuong understood. He pondered for a while, and said, what is the benefit for me when you join the Wuong Holy Land? I can completely refuse to accept you. After all, ordinary Peak Legend Lords are of no help to me. Lord Blackwater immediately said, Lord Wuong, I am willing to be loyal to you forever and become your subordinate. 1. Oh, really? Lord Wuong became interested. It is an honor that a powerful Legendary Realm Lord is willing to be his subordinate. After all, at this level, there is no need to be loyal to the enemy. Legendary Realm Lords like Shaking Mountain are too rare. And he is not a Peak Legendary Lord like the white-bearded old man, and he is not qualified to attract such a Legendary Lord to be loyal to himself. Even some Legendary Lords of Wuong territory would not be loyal to him. Everyone can only be regarded as a Legendary Lord of a power. Some words can be heard, but some words can be opposed. And allegiance is to listen to everything, not to disobey orders, just like servants. Very good, then you will be a Legendary Lord of Wuong territory from now on, and only obey my orders. Lord Wuong announced. Thank you Lord Wuong, Lord Blackwater said gratefully. Although he had hired a subordinate, Lord Wuong was still not very happy, because there was a peak legendary lord in Wulianghai, and there was no Holy Land that was qualified to compete with Wuong Holy Land. Moreover, he had sent people to suppress the true Holy Land before, and this matter could not be concealed. Now, not sick, the two sides have completely come to. In the past, he wouldn't put the Holy Land in his eyes, but now, the other party no longer cares about him. It seems that there is no holy place to travel through the timeline with the help of you online, and obtain a great opportunity, otherwise it would not have been such a coincidence that a peak legend lord was born. Lord Wuong secretly said. Hateful, if he had entered you online and traveled through the timeline, his strength would have risen greatly, and he would not have been at the bottom of the peak legend level Qian Nuos. And all of this was ruined by the unsanctified. Damn it, there is no holy place. I should have destroyed you in spite of my reputation, but I was kind and gave you a chance to grow. Lord Wuong was extremely remorseful, but it was too late to repent now. He can easily obliterate a group of legendary lords, but he cannot obliterate a peak legendary lord. It can be said that if Lord Mingyan does not die, he cannot destroy the Holy Land. At this time, there was laughter everywhere in the Holy Land, and they were holding a huge event to celebrate the breakthrough of the Lord of Mingyan to the Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm. Many legendary realm lords who are friends with the Holy Land came to visit one by one, and many forces also sent to congratulate. After all, everyone could see that the Holy Land of true reality has completely risen, sweeping away the trend of declining Holy Land and becoming one of the top forces in the nothingness region. Chapter 1782 Top-Notch High-Tech, 6 Ways Boxing. This really no holy place event took a long time to end. And not long after, the entire emptiness area knew the name of the Holy Land of True Nothing, and the name of Lord Mingyan. And not long afterward, Lord Mingyan announced his retreat. Not only does she have to stabilize her own realm, but she also has to refine several of her clones to the level of a peak legendary realm lord, and this will take a long time. Before you know it, another 10 eternal era years have passed. Yi Tian spent a lot of time, copied a lot of legendary ancestors, and obtained a lot of legendary ancestors. For example, the legendary ancestors of the 5 elements, he has all merged into it. And, this day, Yi Tian finally took control of another Dao, the Golden Dao. Controlling another path, for Yi Tian, the strength has not improved much, but the difficulty of comprehending the space has been greatly reduced. At the same time, Yi Tian is also trying his best to find a life with legendary space ancestors, copying as many legendary space ancestors as possible, but he was lucky to copy so many time ancestors last time, but this time there are some it's difficult. I'm afraid it will take a long time to gather enough legendary space ancestors to merge into legendary space ancestors. Of course, Yi Tian is not in a hurry. He himself is not very far away from controlling the space. If he controls a doorway and then controls the space, it will be very easy. Moreover, he also wants to accumulate 890 more information at the level of the Lord of the Legendary Realm. In the future, he will break through to the level of the Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm, and the speed of progress will be very fast. In the following years, Yi Tian continued to comprehend each and every way. Because he has a legend-level ancestor, the speed of enlightenment is not slow. Although there is no help from the 3000 yuan line, Yi Tian has understood the ancient monument of time and space after all, and there is a trace of influence, so now the speed of comprehension will not be too slow. Moreover, with Lord Mingyan sitting in the Holy Land, Yi Tian and the others can feel at ease without worrying about external problems. In this way, one eternity after another has passed. Wooden road, water road, fire road, earth road. Yi Tian is constantly in control of these paths, and the obstacles of space to him are getting weaker and weaker. At the same time, Yi Tian is also trying to create an incomparably powerful supreme skill, such as the top supreme skill. When CJFI, of course, the general top-level supreme technique must integrate the power of space and time, and Yi Tian did not completely control the space, so it was difficult to create a top-level supreme technique. However, he controls many paths and has a high control over space, so he has the hope of creating a top-notch skill. Once he has created a top-level supreme technique, his strength is absolutely superior to other legendary lords. Even if he is not as good as the peak legendary lords, at least he will not be stunned. So, in the following days, Yi Tian not only comprehends the Tao, but also creates top-notch and high-level skills. Anyway, he has several duplicate bodies, so it has little impact. However, Yi Tian soon encountered the shackles, as if there was an obstacle somewhere, leaving him completely clueless. So, Yi Tian was going to take a look at the attack methods of the Eternal Masters to see if there was any insight. After all, if some eternal masters have just broken through, the means they master are only top-notch and high-tech, so if you look at them more, there are still some benefits and insights. Nowhere, somewhere, this is the place where the ancient monument of time and space was born. The two eternal masters fought for a short time. After countless years, their traces still remain in this time and space, and they cannot be erased. Therefore, it is also called the traces of ancient barren monuments. Yi Tian had been to the past time and space before, and had comprehended the ancient monument of time and space, but he had not comprehended the attack traces of the eternal controller. After all, time was precious at that time, and there was no time to waste it on it. Buzz. The unknown space-time dimension, the fist marks, and the sword marks are densely covered in this space-time, allowing Yi Tian to witness the terrifying strength of the two eternal masters. It's too mysterious, every attack seems to run through the past and the future, and all the rules are difficult to contend with. Yi Tian muttered. He just sat here cross-legged, constantly comprehending, occasionally taking exercises, trying to comprehend the mystery. In this way, Yi Tian has fully comprehended 16 eternal era here before leaving. Later, Yi Tian went to Shenhe again. Shenhe used to be an eternal sea, but it was destroyed by the eternal master because of a war. This place is too old. Until now, this eternal sea has not recovered, state of being torn apart. However, this is also the place where the eternal controller has the most traces of fights. Somewhere in the deep sea, Yi Tian came to the place where a finger was imprinted. This is the finger of the eternal controller Qing Lian. Qing Lian is a female eternal controller. Her strength is extremely powerful, and she is the eternal controller of Qinglian Holy Land, the supreme holy land in the void area. The Qinglian Holy Land is very powerful. There are 6 peak legendary realm lords, and the number of ordinary legendary realm lords has reached hundreds. This finger of the Qinglian controller seems to be more mysterious. Could it be that her strength is more powerful? Yi Tian doesn't quite know the division and strength of the eternal controller, but from this point of view, the strength of the Qinglian controller is probably stronger than the average eternal controller. Yi Tian carefully comprehends this finger, and gradually, from this finger, he comprehends the power of space, time, strength, speed, wooden path and water path. This finger fuses all these forces together, thus a terrifying force erupted, enough to shatter everything. Here, Yi Tian has fully comprehended 23 eternal era, and then left, and went to other places to comprehend. In this way, Yi Tian constantly comprehends and changes places. Before you know it, 100 eternal era years have passed. For Yi Tian, it has been a long time. After many times of comprehension, and practice, Yi Tian is finally about to create a top-notch skill. This day, a replica of Yi Tian's body has been practiced to the highest level over time. Unexpected, he punched out, directly piercing the long river of time. A large piece of the long river of time collapsed, and countless time and space were annihilated. The power of this punch has far surpassed the general supreme technique. The top-notch high-tech has finally been created. This punch combines the power of time, a little space and the power of the 5 elements, and has reached a certain balance. Although it is not perfectly integrated, at least it has reached the top-level high technology. Threshold, 1 inch. What is this punch called? Let's call it Lu Daochuan. Yi Tianj muttered. Having created the 6 paths boxing, Yi Tian's strength has skyrocketed, and now he can completely kill a powerful legendary realm lord with one punch, such as the legendary realm lord like the Blackwater Lord, and he can't stop him from punching. At this moment, Yi Tian is the real transformation. Chapter 1783 The Upper Eternity Treasure, the battle between the two holy places. Source C. On this day, a copy of Yi Tian's body stood in the Source C, watching the changes in the Source C. After so many eternal epochs, Yuanai is finally about to transform again. Yi Tian muttered. Today, Yuanai has given birth to many legendary lords, and even the human race has given birth to many legendary lords with his help, and his wives and children are also legendary lords. The number of legendary lords of Yuanai continued to explode, resulting in the accelerated evolution of Yuanai. Now, the Source Sea is going to evolve into the final form of the Eternal Sea, that is, the huge Eternal Sea comparable to the Infinite Sea and other Eternal Seas. At that time, the resources of Yuanai will explode rapidly. At that time, the value of Yuanai will be very high, even enough to attract the attention of some common legends and realm lords. If it was in the past, Yi Tian is afraid that there is no hope to protect the Source Sea. Even if there is no holy place, it is difficult to completely occupy an eternal sea, but now there is still some hope. Certainly, It is also impossible for Yi Tian to not allow others to enter the Source Sea. He can only be called the master of the Source Sea in name, but other people have to be allowed to come in. Unless one day, he breaks through to the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, and he is invincible among the Lords of the Peak Legend Realm. If he wants to use the Eternal Sea like Yuanai as his private territory, no one will object or dare not be opposed to. But for now, it's okay. However, the human race occupies the best territory, and as his own territory, he can still do it. I don't know if there will be any amazing opportunities in the Source Sea. It is said that when each Eternal Sea forms its final transformation, there will be some opportunities, and some opportunities are even interesting to the Lords of the Peak Legend Realm. Yi Tian thought to himself. He just waited silently here. And the transformation of the Source Sea, there are also many forces paying attention. For many forces in the void area, the final transformation and evolution of Yuanai this time is also a big event. After a long time, Yuanai's transformation and evolution was completed. At this time, the overall energy of Yuanai has improved several grades, and a lot of resources are born. However, Yi Tian was not interested in general resources, and he didn't pay any attention. Can be suddenly, somewhere in the Source Sea, a mysterious aura permeated out. That is the breath of eternal treasure. General eternal treasures can't attract legendary realm lords, and it only attracts some legendary realm lords, even half-step legendary realm lords don't care. However, the breath of the eternal treasure this time is very unusual. The highest eternal treasure. Yi Tian's expression changed. The upper eternity treasures are almost all in the hands of the Peak Legend Realm Lords, and only a few legendary realm lords with deep backgrounds have upper eternity treasures. Yi Tian does not have a high-ranking eternal treasure in his hands, not even the Holy Land. The value of a high-ranking eternal treasure even exceeds hundreds of median eternal treasures. It is impossible to buy it at all. Even if you go to a time company, you cannot buy a high-ranking eternal treasure. It is not for sale, because the price is too precious and too expensive. Rare. Wow, Yi Tian shuttled over in an instant, his eyes passed through the layers of time and space, and saw a faceless statue located in the depths of countless time and space. This statue is the eternal treasure. However, this high-ranking eternal treasure has not been fully conceived, and it will take time. Moreover, it is somewhat difficult to take away the upper eternity treasure, just like the general legendary lord wants to take the eternal treasure. It is difficult to reach the general eternal treasure. You must have enough strength, or the eternal Tao contained in it. Only by comprehending the entry can you take away the eternal treasure. And the upper eternity treasure is the same for the general legend realm lord. It takes a little time to take it away. However, it is not difficult for Yi Tian to take this high-rank eternal treasure. He has control of various Taos, so he can use the power of various Taos to reach this high-rank eternal treasure. Now, he just needs to wait for the birth of the upper eternity treasure. However, there are many legendary realm lords who want to compete for this high-ranking eternal treasure, and there will even be a peak legendary realm lord coming. He is not afraid of other legendary realm lords, but he is no match for the peak legendary realm lord. If the lord of the peak legendary realm arrives, he will not be able to compete at all. I still have to inform the Lord of Mingyan. Yi Tian immediately sent a message to Lord Mingyan. Next moment, Lord Mingyan arrived at Yuanai. The Endless Lord, the Source Sea actually gave birth to a high-ranking eternal treasure. 1. Lord Mingyan was a little surprised. Yes, Yi Tian nodded. Lord Mingyan hurriedly said, "Don't worry, you discovered this high-ranking eternal treasure, and I will not fight for it. I will block the breath here first, otherwise the high-ranking eternal treasure will not be able to hide it. Ask for flowers." Next moment, Lord Mingyan mobilized the power of time and space to block this place. Immediately, the aura of the upper eternity treasure was completely blocked, and such a method was simply impossible for ordinary legend realm lords to do. No, there is a peak legend lord coming. It seems that the blockade is a step too late. Lord Mingyan said solemnly. Who is it? Yi Tian looked over. Tear, a figure shuttled over, and it was the Wuong Lord of the Boundless Sea. The upper eternity treasure, ha ha ha, it seems that my luck is good. 0. Lord Wuong laughed. Lord Mingyan frowned and said, Lord Wuong, this high-ranking eternal treasure is in the territory of our true Holy Land, and it is the first time we discovered that it belongs to our true Holy Land. 1. Lord Wuong sneered and said, those who have a destiny will get the treasure. If it is in whose territory it belongs, there will be no so many competitions and killings in the void area. Even if it is in your hands, what if I want to snatch it? Lord Mignon, you have just broken through to the peak legendary realm lord. I am afraid that you have not even understood one of the top and highest skills. You are not my opponent. Lord Mignon said without fear. Lord Wuong, you also created a top eternal skill. Your strength is not much stronger than me. The two sides did not do anything, because this high-ranking eternal treasure has not yet been born. Of course, they didn't notify other peak legend realm lords. After all, one more competition means one more competition. Unexpected. One after another legendary realm lords have come. All of them are legendary realm lords of Wuong Holy Land. One of them is the Blackwater Lord. And on the side of the Holy Land, one after another, the legendary lords also came. Although the true strength of the Holy Land is not as good as the Holy Land of Wuong, this time, it cannot be counseled. Certainly, no Holy Land dared to be so confident and sent so many legendary realm lords, not to seek death, but a message from Yi Tian. Lord Mignon, you can hold the Lord Wuong, and the other legendary lords will be handed over to me. Yi Tian is extremely confident. Lord Mignon immediately understood that Yi Tian's strength had reached a terrifying level. Chapter 1784 Fame in World War I. Lord Mignon, why bother? This battle is really going to be fought. You really have no holy place. I am afraid that many legendary lords will die. Even if it is a clone, it will be a heavy loss. Lord Wuong said coldly. Maybe it's your Wuong Holy Land that suffers heavy losses. Lord Mignon replied. HMPH, stubborn. Lord Wuong was angry. Although he may not be able to kill this clone of Lord Mignon, the legendary lords of the Wuong Holy Land can definitely easily kill the legendary lords of the real No Holy Land. Quantity is an advantage. Moreover, there are many powerhouses who are at the pinnacle of ordinary legend realm lords in Wuong Holy Land, but there are not many such legendary realm lords in true Wuong Holy Land. In terms of strength, how can the Holy Land compete with the Holy Land of Eternity? Time passed slowly, and the atmosphere here became more and more tense, and now many of the 98 creatures have fled and dared not stay here, for fear of being affected. Just when the Upper Eternity treasure was about to be conceived, the legendary lords of the Wuong Holy Land took action. Lord Wuong was the first to take action, and Lord Mignon also responded quickly and stopped Lord Wuong immediately. Boom! The two sides fought, and Lord Mignon directly dragged Lord Wuong into the long river of time to fight. In this way, it is difficult for their battles to affect ordinary legendary lords. Kill! The legendary realm lords of Wuong Holy Land also started. And Yi Tian's duplicate bodies appeared, and one of the duplicate bodies faced the Blackwater Lord of the Holy Land of Eternal. Endless Lord, you are a new legendary lord, and you dare to fight against me. The Blackwater Lord said coldly. He doesn't know Yi Tian's strength, after all Yi Tian is too low-key. Therefore, he just regarded Yi Tian as an ordinary legend realm lord, at most comparable to a slightly stronger legend realm lord. As for the record at the legendary lord level, it is useless at all, even if it is rumored that Yi Tian has condensed the supreme legendary body. Moreover, there was no news that Yi Tian killed the Lord of Stupid Star, so Yi Tian's reputation was not very big in the void area. This battle is my battle to become famous. Let's make a name for this clone of your Blackwater Lord first. Yi Tian directly used his top eternal skill, Six Dao Fist. Boom! Lu Dao Fist directly hit the Blackwater Lord. In an instant, the body of the Blackwater Lord began to annihilate, the time and space around him began to shatter, and everything turned into nothingness. Top eternal skill. The Lord of Blackwater was shocked in his heart. In an instant, his clone fell, and was instantly killed by a single blow. No eternal Holy Land. The body of the Blackwater Lord felt that the clone was killed, and his expression changed drastically. The Endless Lord was killed in one move, and he actually created a top eternal skill. How is this possible? The Lord of Blackwater couldn't believe this scene. The newly promoted peak legendary realm lords will not know the top eternal skill, and even the peak legendary realm lord like Wuong Lord will only have one peak eternal skill. How difficult is it to create a top eternal skill, not to mention Yi Tian is only a legendary realm lord, and has not been promoted to the peak legendary realm lord. It is many times more difficult to create a top eternal skill. Source C. The avatar of the Blackwater Lord was killed, which completely shocked many legendary lords. Then, Yi Tian's body copied one by one, and every move could kill a legendary realm lord. In an instant, the clones of the legendary lords of the Wuong Holy Land were killed. Wow! More than a dozen legendary realm lords came under siege and were directly blasted away by Yi Tian's six-path fist. 6 legendary realm lords fell directly, and others suffered heavy losses. Can't stop. They can't compete with Yi Tian, whoever competes will die. In a short time, the avatars of 20 legendary lords fell from the Wuang Holy Land. Although there are many legendary lords of the Wuang Holy Land, there are only 50 or 60, and they can't stand such sacrifices. The avatars have fallen, and they dare not send other avatars and main bodies to come, so at this time, there are not many legendary realm lords here in the Wuang Holy Land. Walk. The other legendary realm lords of Wuang Holy Land fled one by one, not daring to stay here any longer. Even if it is just a clone, once it falls, not only will all the treasures on the body be lost, but it will take a long time and resources to reunite a clone, so the loss will be huge. Unexpected. A finger pokes. This is a finger attacked from the long river of time. Yi Tian turned around and punched, bursting out the power of 6 Dao Fist. But even so, his duplicate body was still knocked flying, the body cracked and the injury was not light. However, he withstood the blow. And then, a body was punched out from the long river of time, and it was Lord Wuang. Just now, Lord Wuang, for Yi Tian, withstood the blow of Lord Mingyan and was slightly injured, but the impact was not great. You're not dead. Lord Wuang was shocked. He is the lord of the peak legend realm, and he can't kill a legendary realm lord with one blow. How is this possible? However, he roughly knew why. Yi Tian created the top eternal skill, thus weakening his attack. In addition, Yi Tian condensed the supreme eternal body, and the defensive eternal skill he created is also good. Therefore, under the weakening layer by layer, Yi Tian's it was only by duplicating his body that he resisted his attack. If there is no Lord Mingyan, it would not be difficult for him to kill Yi Tian. But now, Lord Mingyan is protecting Yi Tian, he can't kill Yi Tian. Moreover, even if Yi Tian was really killed, it was just a clone, and killing it would not make much sense. Lord Endless, this time you killed so many avatars of legendary lords of our Wuang Holy Land, your body will always stay in the true Wu Holy Land, otherwise I will kill you in the future. Lord Wu 5.8 Heng left this sentence and left directly. At this time, the Upper Eternity Treasure was completely conceived, and the breath of the Upper Eternity Treasure permeated the entire Source Sea. Endless Lord, take this Upper Eternity Treasure. The Lord of the Underworld said. Thank you, Lord Mingyan. Yi Tian reached out and grabbed the Upper Eternal Treasure, and soon touched the Upper Eternal Treasure, took it away, and put it away. In this way, Yi Tian obtained this high-rank Eternal Treasure. Soon after, news of the battle spread. Immediately, the countless forces of the Eternal Sea were shocked, and even many of the peak legend realm lords were full of interest in Yi Tian. Since then, Yi Tian's reputation is really resounding in the Void area. Chapter 1785 The second top-notch skill. Suyang Mountain. The white-bearded old man was a little surprised when he knew Yi Tian's record. The Endless Lord is really amazing. He actually created the top eternal skill, shaking the mountain. You are so much worse than him now, said the white-bearded old man. The mountain-shaking lord on the side smiled and said, Master, my talent is average. It is the master's credit that I can improve to the achievements I am today. The talent of the Endless Lord is indeed very evil. I am afraid that it is the number one in this era. I have a relationship with him. Compared, of course, it can't be compared. The white-bearded old man asked again, how long will it take for you to break through to the peak legendary lord? The mountain-shaking lord replied, Master, although I have comprehended the ancient monument of time and space, my understanding is limited, and it will take a long time to completely control the space. Next, your clone should go out and move around more, maybe there is some insight or chance. The white-bearded old man suggested. Yes, Master, shaking mountain lord responded, no holy place. During this time, many legendary lords came to visit him, and even the glaciers came. And Yi Tian also received them one by one. After all, the more legendary realm lords he knew, the only advantages and no disadvantages. After another period of time, the number of legendary lords who came to visit him gradually became rare. At this time, he began to announce the retreat. The purpose of this retreat is mainly to refine the Upper Eternity Treasure. The Upper Eternity Treasure far exceeds the Middle Eternal Treasure, and it takes a certain amount of time to refine it. Yi Tian placed this high-ranking Eternal Treasure of the statue class in the inner world, and began to slowly refine it, constantly invading its inner source. With the passage of time, Yi Tian gradually refined this high-rank Eternal Treasure, and also knew its name. Ancient Likeness. The Guzhan statue is a high-ranking eternal treasure that can be integrated into the body to fight. It can greatly increase the strength of the legendary lord, and it can also transfer part of the injuries to the Guzhan statue, so as to avoid being injured by the enemy. After the battle, Ji Junxiang will slowly repair himself. This high-ranking eternal treasure is not bad. Yi Tian was surprised. With this high-ranking eternal treasure, his strength can at least increase several times. After another long period of time, Yi Tian completely refined the ancient real image of the eternal treasure. At this time, Yi Tian really knew the true value of the ancient real image, or the value of the upper eternity treasure. Ji Junxiang perfectly presents the fusion of several Taos, similar to the eternal skill. If you comprehend the ancient statue, it will help to create a similar top-level high technology. Lord Mingyan gave up the competition for the upper eternity treasure. If she obtains this upper eternity treasure, not only can her strength be improved, but she also hopes to create a top-notch skill faster. Yi Tian secretly said. Of course, Lord Mingyan definitely wants to get a high-ranking eternal treasure, but he was the first to discover it, and it was he who notified Lord Mingyan, and Lord Mingyan was definitely not easy to compete for. If it was his words, he would be embarrassed to fight for it. Then rely on Ji Junxiang to create a top-notch high-tech, so that the strength can be improved. Yi Tian thought to himself. Therefore, one of Yi Tian's key tasks of duplicating his body was to comprehend the ancient statue and create a similar top-notch technique. In this way, one eternity after another has passed. Long years passed, Yi Tian continued to practice and create, coupled with the assistance of Ji Junxiang, he controlled more and more Dao, and finally created a very good top-notch high-tech on this day. This time, the top-notch supreme technique created by Yi Tian is biased towards defense. Void area. Yi Tian began to display this top-notch skill. His body began to change, and countless black scales appeared on his body, as if wrapping him into a black sculpture. This is an eternal technique created by imitating the ancient statue. Immediately, he punched himself. Boom! The attack was deflected directly, and no damage was received. What a powerful defense! If it cooperates with Ji Junxiang, even Lord Wuong, don't even think about creating me easily. Yi Tian murmured. However, it is difficult to increase the strength of this top-notch high-level skill, but it is also very good. After all, there is still an ancient statue. With the superposition of the two, Yi Tian's strength has increased by a lot. This top-notch skill is called the ancient true battle body. Yi Tian took the name and said. Having created this top-notch supreme skill, Yi Tian's strength is not as good as that of the Peak Legend Realm Lord, but at least it has brought the distance closer. Basically, he has a certain hope of escaping from a Peak Legend Lord. Moreover, he is also closer to the control space. Originally, Yi Tian planned to keep in seclusion like this, but this day's news made him unable to sit still. He has been looking for a race with legendary spatial ancestry, and even issued this task at the time firm. And just now, the time firm told him that someone had taken over this task. Go to the time firm. Yi Tian stepped over and came to the branch of the Wulianghai time firm. The Xinyang lord of the time firm came to see Yi Tian at the first time. After all, Yi Tian was so famous now that even if he didn't come to buy items, he also came to entertain Yi Tian in person. I have seen the Endless Lord. Lord Xinyang said politely. Lord Xinyang, I have given a mission to hang the Lord, and someone has taken it, come and see. Yi Tian said. Xinyang hurriedly said 890. Lord Endless, let's go, I'll take you there, that legendary lord is in another branch of time business. It's work. Yi Tian bowed his hands. Soon, Lord Xinyang brought Yi Tian to Taki Zehai's time firm branch. At this time business branch, Yi Tian met the legendary Lord of Transcendence who had accepted this mission, Lord Silverleaf. When Lord Silverleaf saw Yi Tian, he immediately said respectfully, I have seen Lord Endless. 1. At this time, everyone else left, and only the two of them remained. Tell me, where is the race you found that contains the legendary spatial ancestry? Yi Tian asked. Lord Silverleaf hurriedly said, at this position. He gave the specific coordinates, and immediately said, this is a very ancient race called the Kong clan. I accidentally discovered that almost all of this race has legendary space ancestors, and this clan has a legendary lord, very low-key, my clone was killed directly. As it happened, I saw the reward quest of the Endless Lord and accepted it immediately. Okay, the reward will be given to you, but if you deceive me, you should know the fate of deceiving a legendary lord. Yi Tian said. Don't dare, Lord Silverleaf said immediately. Soon, Yi Tian gave him 30 billion time coins, and then left the time business. Chapter 1786 Finally control the space. Empty clan. A very low-key race, located in a remote frontier of the Void region. The legendary lord of the Kong clan is the Lord of Zongkong. Lord Zongkong is very low-key in the void area, he has few friends, and he usually acts out of his own body, so no one knows where the body of Lord Zongkong is. This day, Yi Tian came to Kong clan's territory, and before he approached Kong clan, he was discovered by Lord Zongkong. Wow! Lord Zongkong appeared and stopped Yi Tian. Lord Zongkong didn't know Yi Tian, he only knew that Yi Tian was a legendary lord. Your Excellency, this is my territory, please leave. Lord Zongkong expelled the road. Yi Tian smiled slightly. I just feel that there is a chance that belongs to me here, so let's take a look. There is no chance for you here. Lord Zongkong said coldly. How do you know if you don't go and have a look? If not, I will leave here. Yi Tian said. Is your Excellency really against me? Lord Zongkong was annoyed, and the surrounding space was under his control. Obviously, he is a legendary lord who controls space. Looks like there's still going to be a fight. Yi Tian threw a punch, and the sixth Dao fist was displayed. Of course, he didn't use his full strength, otherwise he could kill Lord Zongkong with one punch. Under this punch, the space area controlled by Lord Zongkong was directly crushed. The domineering punch hit the area where he was, and in an instant, Lord Zongkong was severely injured. Top to high technology, you are the Endless Lord. Lord Zongkong's expression changed. In the void area, a legendary lord who can display top-notch skills was born. No matter how low-key he is, he still knows the news. Yes, it's me, Yi Tian said. Knowing Yi Tian's identity, Lord Zongkong quickly ingratiated himself and said, it turned out to be the visit of Lord Endless, please, I was reckless just now. There is no way, he can't beat Yi Tian, if he is an enemy, he is afraid that he will be beaten to death. Therefore, it must be acknowledged. Yi Tian then followed Lord Zongkong and entered the territory of the Kong clan. Immediately, his copy talent shrouded this area, and he investigated the talents of the Kong people. Sure enough, many people have legendary spatial ancestry. Yi Tian secretly said. However, not everyone has this kind of talent, only a small part, most of them are ordinary spatial ancestors. But even so, the Kong clan is very impressive. Coupled with the cultivation of Zongkong lords, there are many legendary lords of the Kong clan, and there are more than a dozen legendary lords in the half-step legend realm alone. Perhaps in the future, the Kong clan will be able to give birth to a few more legendary realm lords. If Zongkong Lord himself also breaks through to the peak legendary realm lord realm, the Kong clan will be enough to become the top clan in the void area. However, it is difficult to grow to this point. Copy 1. A legend-level space ancestor was copied by Yi Tian. Yi Tian wandered around in the empty clan's territory, and then copied enough legend-level spatial ancestry. Afterwards, Yi Tian left the Kong clan. After Yi Tian left, Lord Zongkong wondered, strange, this endless lord is really just here to see if there is a chance. Then he left without finding it. After thinking about it for a long time, he didn't even think about it, so he stopped thinking about it. Anyway, he didn't want to deal with Yi Tian. After returning, Yi Tian began to integrate those legendary space ancestors. A line of legend-level space ancestors, coupled with Yi Tian's fusion before, gradually, the space ancestors became stronger and stronger. Finally, one day, the space ancestors completed the transformation, and they were promoted from the legendary space ancestors to the legendary space ancestors. After the transformation of the space ancestors was completed, Yi Tian went to understand the space again, and the efficiency improved too much. According to this comprehension efficiency, the day when I completely control the time will not be too far away. Yi Tian muttered. Eternal epochs have passed. Yi Tian has been constantly comprehending space, and occasionally comprehends other Taos. Before you know it, 60 eternal era years have passed. This day, the surrounding space of Yi Tian has undergone tremendous changes, and the entire space of heaven and earth has been completely controlled by him. His consciousness spread to Konghai, and Konghai's power was under control. He came to Konghai in one step, and even if he didn't use the power of the legendary lord, the space power here couldn't hurt him in the slightest. Finally control the space. Yi Tian was quite excited. Today, he controls space, time, and other Taos. It is naturally extremely easy to become the lord of the peak legend realm. Once he becomes the lord of the peak legend realm, then he will be at the peak of the power in the void region. After taking control of the space, Yi Tian did not immediately attack the realm of the pinnacle legendary realm lord, but first stabilized the realm before notifying the other legendary realm lords of the true No Holy Land. This day, many legendary lords of the Holy Land gathered together, and even the Lord of Mingyan came. Quote. Endless Lord, what are you calling us this time? Asked the Lord Longu. Yi Tian said directly, I control the space. Take control of the space. When the other Legend Realm Lords heard it, they were immediately shocked. Although they knew that Yi Tian would definitely control the space, breaking through to become the Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm was not a problem for him. However, they were still extremely shocked when they heard that Yi Tian took control of the space. Too fast. In their opinion, Yi Tian still needs a long time to control the space. After all, Yi Tian has not cultivated for a long time. Although he has comprehended the ancient monument of time and space, the cultivation time cannot be erased. But now Qian Nuo's Yi Tian suddenly announced that he was in control of the space, how could they not be shocked? Lord Endless, when are you going to attack the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm? Lord Mingyan asked. After a while, Xian. Yi Tian said, you can rest assured to break through. I will protect you, even if it is Lord Wuong, don't try to destroy your promotion. Besides, if you really know that you are about to break through, Lord Wuong may not dare to make trouble. Mingyan said the Lord. Yeah, Yi Tian nodded. Subsequently, Yi Tian entered the Sea of Empty, and the legendary realm lords of the real Holy Land were guarding, and several avatars and main bodies of the Lord Mingyan were dispatched to guard the four directions. Immediately, Yi Tian began to attack the Peak Legendary Realm Lord Realm. The Holy Land of Immortality, the Immeasurable Mountain. Lord Wuong looked at Zhengwu Holy Land with a shocked expression. The Lord of Endless has broken through to become the Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm. Chapter 1787 The 5 Levels of Peak Legendary Lords. Lord Wuong was in a very bad mood, and the last thing he wanted was that the Endless Lord would break through to become the Peak Legendary Lord. Yi Tian, the Endless Lord, created a top-notch supreme skill at the level of the Legendary Lord. Once such a monster breaks through to become the Peak Legendary Lord, he may soon surpass him. He hoped that Yi Tian would stay in the Legendary Lord realm forever and could not break through, but this is unlikely. However, he did not expect Yi Tian to break through so quickly, and the speed of this breakthrough was too fast. According to his understanding, Yi Tian became the Lord of the Legendary Realm for a long time. HMPH, even if you become a Peak Legendary Lord, it is not easy to progress at the Peak Legendary Lord level. Perhaps the Endless Lord will become mediocre after becoming a Peak Legendary Lord. Lord Wuong thought so. He didn't stop Yi Tian from breaking through, because even if he stopped it this time, he couldn't stop it next time. In the Void area, there has not yet been a Peak Legend Lord who failed to break through, so if he stopped it this time, it would be a complete disgrace. When the time comes, if the two lords of the legendary realm at the peak of the Holy Land will deal with him together, he will not be afraid, but the Holy Land of Wuong will not be able to bear it. Empty sea. Yi Tian broke through here, and there was no one to stop it. Soon, he faced a critical moment. 890. In an instant, Yi Tian turned into a space incarnation, completely becoming one with space. His body is constantly absorbing the source power of Konghai, and his strength is constantly rising. Finally made a breakthrough, the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm. Yi Tian opened his eyes and looked at the world in front of him, as if it had completely changed. As if there were no more secrets between heaven and earth, his gaze could penetrate anywhere in the void area in an instant, and a single finger could crush a legendary lord in a distant area. Distance is no longer a problem for him, not even time. This is the strength and realm of the Peak Legendary Lord. Having reached this realm, apart from the mysterious and unpredictable Eternal Controller, he already belongs to the top group. Of course, in this group, he is not the most powerful, there are still many stronger than him. For example, the white-bearded old man. The strength of the white-bearded old man is probably considered to be extremely powerful among the lords of the Peak Legend Realm, and is comparable to the ordinary lords of the Peak Legend Realm. Therefore, the white-bearded old man does not need to give face to any Peak Legend Realm Lord, and he can have no scruples. Endless Lord, congratulations on your breakthrough to become a Peak Legend Lord. Endless Lord, congratulations on your breakthrough to become a Peak Legend Lord. Endless Lord, congratulations on your breakthrough to become a Peak Legend Lord. The legendary realm lords of the really no holy places congratulated each other. Thank you all, Yi Tian said gratefully. Immediately, everyone left Konghai and returned to the Holy Land. After returning, Yi Tian first held a celebration feast, and many legendary lords came to congratulate him. After the feast, Yi Tian announced the retreat to stabilize the realm. Subsequently, Yi Tian annihilated each of the cloned bodies, and then copied them again, easily turning all of his cloned bodies into Peak Legend Lords. As for other Peak Legend Realm Lords, it would take a long time and countless resources just to raise their clones to the Peak Legend Realm Lord level, and Yi Tian paid a very low price. After a period of time, Yi Tian has completely stabilized the realm, and the body of the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm has been completely integrated with space and time. With his current status as the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, he has mastered 2 top-level supreme skills, and the supreme legendary body has reached the realm of Dacheng, and his will has reached the peak realm of the 7th rank. His strength is already very strong, surpassing the peak legend of Wuong Lord Landlord. Unfortunately, the eternal will has not broken into the 8th order. No wonder the 8th order is called the will of the eternal master. It is difficult for the Lord of the Peak Legend to raise the will to the 8th order. However, the 7th order peak and the 7th order peak are still there. The difference is that I can feel that my willpower, CJFI, has increased a lot, and I can continue to improve, but if I can't achieve a qualitative change of will, it is not an 8th order will. Yi Tian muttered. He was a little curious, did the will of the white-bearded old man reach the 8th level? However, he felt that the 8th order eternal will should be a qualitative change. Once the breakthrough reached the 8th order eternal will, there would be an astonishing increase in strength. This day, Yi Tian discussed Taoism with Lord Mingyan, and studied the cultivation of the peak legendary lord level, and discussed the experience. After all, the gap between the peak legend realm lord and the eternal master is too big, so the range that can be improved is also very large. The two kept discussing. Lord Mingyan said, I have discussed with some peak legend lords, the general peak legend lord is very common, and the weakest one belongs to a peak and high skill, but it has broken through to the peak legend lord level. After practicing for a long time, you will more or less have a top-level supreme skill, just like the Lord Wuong, who only has one top-level supreme skill, which is the most common level of the peak legend lord. Then there is the creation of many. The top of the gate is the highest, and he has certain accomplishments in the fusion of time and space, condensing the highest body of time and space. This type of peak legend lord is basically famous, stronger than the ordinary peak legend lord, just like the glacial lord, he belongs to this level. The third level peak legend lords are highly accomplished in the fusion of time and space, and they have comprehended the highest technology of time and space, which is the highest technology that surpasses the highest technology. The highest technology of time and space is the perfect fusion of the power of time and space. Together, a terrifying power erupted. 1. As for the 4th level peak legend lords, they have almost reached the peak level in the fusion of time and space, and they can even attack the eternal controller, but they dare not break through, because once the breakthrough fails, it will be the end of the fall. The pinnacle of the legendary realm lord, the time-space supreme body has reached the pinnacle realm, and he will have a variety of time-space supreme skills. There is also a 5th level peak legend realm lord, whose will has reached the 8th rank, and even created a time-space control technique. The time-space control technique is a skill commonly known by eternal controllers, but if the peak legend realm lord can also, plus the 8th level will can be called the 5th level. The lords of the peak legendary realm are roughly divided into these 5 levels, and I don't know if there are any lords of the 5th level of the legendary realm, but most of the lords of the peak legendary realm are in the 1st and 2nd levels. The 3-level peak legend realm lords are extremely rare, and there are not many. After Lord Mingyan finished speaking, Yi Tian asked curiously, what level does the white-bearded old man belong to, do you know? I don't know. Lord Mingyan shook his head. Chapter 1788 4 Top-level high-tech, strength soars. The white-bearded old man is a very mysterious peak legend realm, and it is not simple to be able to make friends with many eternal masters. Therefore, any lord of the peak legend realm is extremely respectful to the white-bearded old man and will not offend him. It is normal for Lord Mingyan to not know the strength of the white-bearded old man, because the white-bearded old man has not taken action for too long, who knows his true strength. You can't ask the white-bearded old man directly, that's too rude. Yi Tian discussed with Lord Mingyan for a long time, and then ended the discussion. According to what Lord Mingyan said, my current strength should be between the 1st level and the 2nd level of the peak legendary lord, which is slightly worse than that of glacier lord. Yi Tian secretly said. However, he has only broken through to the peak legend realm lord, and now it is a little easier to comprehend other Taos, and it is also slightly easier to create a peak supreme skill. With his talent, his strength will soon be comparable to that of the 2nd level peak legend realm lord. In the following years, Yi Tian mainly created top-notch and high-level skills, because only by mastering enough top-level and high-level skills would there be no shortage and his strength would be strong. And 2 top-level skills are definitely not enough. In terms of attack, he possesses 6 paths boxing, which is enough for the time being, and in terms of defense, he possesses the ancient town battle body, which is barely enough. However, he did not have the top-notch skills in the speed category. Next, let's focus on the top and highest skills in the speed category. 1. Yi Tian muttered. Yi Tian had previously controlled many kinds of Dao, among them the Dao of speed, so if time and space were added, it would be enough to create a very good top-notch speed class. The top-level high-tech of the speed category is not only fast, and it can rush out of the bondage. Otherwise, no matter how fast the speed is, once it is imprisoned, it will not be able to move, then such a top-level high-tech speed is useless. Therefore, the real top-level high-tech of the speed category must be able to travel between the time level and the space level, and can penetrate all constraints, so that it can be called the top-level high-level technology of the speed category. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian tried countless times, and also comprehended the battle traces of many eternal masters. After comprehending again and again, after spending 30 eternal epochs, Yi Tian created a speed class, top-notch technology. Time is long. Yi Tian was here to test his top-notch speed. He instantly turned into a ray of light, crossed the river of time, and entered the sea of empty. The speed was almost unimaginable. And he let his other copy body cast space restraint and various means. It was difficult to stop the speed of this top-notch skill. This top-level supreme skill is quite good. Not only is it fast enough, it is difficult to be restrained, but it can also avoid the attacks of other peak legend lords. Yi Tian secretly said. With such a top-notch speed class, his strength has been improved again. This top-notch technology is called Eternal Light. Yi Tian named it. After that, Yi Tian spent dozens of Eternal Era time to create a top-notch technique of restraint. After all, without top-level techniques of restraint, it would be difficult to trap the enemy, so it would be difficult to kill the enemy. It's like a second-level peak legendary realm lord killing a weaker first-level peak legendary realm lord. If you can't kill the opponent with one hit, the opponent will run away directly, and it will be difficult to hunt down. Therefore, it is necessary to create a restraint technique from the top to the high-tech level. Yi Tian created the top-notch and supreme technology of the bondage category, which he named the Eternal Prison. Based on time, space and the way of the 5 elements, it formed a complete blockade of an area, like a prison. In this way, Yi Tian currently possesses 4 top-level skills. Eternal Prison, Eternal Light, Ancient True Fighting Body, 6 Ways Boxing. Coupled with the Dacheng level supreme legendary body he now possesses, his own strength is probably not weaker than that of the second-level peak legendary realm lord who has just been promoted. However, if Yi Tian wants to greatly improve his cultivation, he still has to perform space-time fusion. He controls space and time, but he must control time and space at the same time to be able to take the road of time and space fusion step by step. The fusion of time and space seems to be simple, but it is actually difficult, because it is the fusion of essence, not the fusion of ordinary levels. Once a little bit is integrated, the peak legend lord can control the power of time and space at the same time. Even if he can only control a little bit, he can also exert a very powerful formidable power. Ask for flowers. For example, Yi Tian can now use the power of space or time at any time. Even if he uses a top-notch attack like Ludao Fist, mixed with the power of space and time, he can easily sense that it contains the power of time and space, which is a clear feeling. The two just blend together, but not completely. After the real fusion, it is a brand new power, which can also be called the control of time and space. Time-space control is the foundation of time-space supreme skill, and Yi Tian has not practiced time-space fusion, so he does not have time-space control power, so even if his talent is high, he is currently unable to create a time-space supreme skill. 0. However, the difficulty of time-space fusion is the beginning. For example, Lord Mingyan has not started the practice of time-space fusion, and Lord Wuong is said to have not carried out time-space fusion. It's not that they don't want to fuse time and space, but they can't get started. This entry stopped most of the peak legend lords. For example, Lord Wuong, if he crosses the timeline, goes back to the past, and comprehends the ancient monuments of time and space again and again, he may be able to enter the fusion of time and space. Unfortunately, he did not have this opportunity. It is precisely because of this that Lord Wuong is so angry. Unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to study the ancient monument of time and space anymore. Last time, I only tried my best to study the space, and I didn't have time to study the fusion of time and space at all. Yi Tian murmured. Of course, there is more than a treasure in the space-time ancient desolate monument that can assist in understanding the fusion of time and space. Some top forces also have similar treasures, but those treasures will not easily enlighten other peak legend realm lords. Yi Tian has a legendary time ancestry and a legendary space ancestry, and his talent far exceeds other peak legend lords. Therefore, if he relies on himself, he can also integrate time and space into entry, but it will take a long time. Then, he inquired a bit to see where there were opportunities for a peak legendary lord like him to comprehend, and after inquiring, the void area was really one of such places. Chapter 1789 Black Holy Mountain, Sacrificial Array. Black Holy Mountain. This is a very famous treasure land in the void area, but it is not easy for ordinary legendary lords to reach the Black Sacred Mountain. It is a mysterious mountain that is difficult to reach. Like the eternal treasure, it can be seen but cannot be entered. Only the lords of the peak legend realm can easily reach the Black Sacred Mountain. Of course, if there is a peak legendary realm lord to enter, the legendary realm lord can also enter, and so can the legendary lord. Therefore, some descendants of peak legendary realm lords will be brought into Black Sacred Mountain by peak legendary realm lords. The origin of the Black Sacred Mountain is very mysterious. Some people say that it is a treasure mountain created by the Eternal Master, but some people say that it is a treasure land that was born naturally in the void area. But one thing is certain, that is, every eternal controller has been to Black Sacred Mountain. Black Sacred Mountain is not very helpful to the legendary lord, 890, and the legendary lord, but it is of great help to the peak legendary lord. Black Sacred Mountain has a special magic formation that can sacrifice time treasures and space treasures, thus presenting a scene of time and space fusion, allowing the peak legend realm lords to comprehend. The more treasures are sacrificed, the longer the enlightenment time will be. In the void area, there are many peak legend lords who have realized the mystery of the fusion of time and space through the Black Holy Mountain, and finally entered the second level of the peak legend lord. Of course, after a peak legend lord came a few times, he might not want to come. Not only is the price to pay high, but the key point is that the fusion of time and space has become more and more difficult in the later stage, and the help of the Black Sacred Mountain will not help big. At that time, the price paid is not proportional to the gain, and naturally it will not come. Of course, although some peak legend lords would not use the magic circle of Black Sacred Mountain to comprehend the fusion of time and space, they would send their younger generations to comprehend it. Let's try it first. If the effect is good, you can let Yuaa, Xingchen, Xingyu and others come here to cultivate for a period of time. Yi Tian muttered. Subsequently, Yi Tian came to the Black Holy Mountain. Somewhere in the void, there are ancient cities here, also known as the 13 Black Holy Cities, and the city lords of each city are the lords of the legendary realm. The reason why the Black Saint 13 cities were born here is because the lords of the peak legend realm often come here, so many geniuses are eager to get the appreciation of the lords of the peak legend realm. If they are accepted as disciples, wouldn't they rise directly? Therefore, many legendary lords and even legendary lords came here, gradually forming a prosperous cultivation area. Occasionally, there are really peak legend realm lords staying in the 13th city of the Black Saint to give pointers to the younger generation. Yi Tian came here, did not stay in the Black Holy 13 city, but directly entered the Black Holy Mountain. Layers of time and space were peeled off, and Yi Tian easily entered the interior of the Black Sacred Mountain. Lord Endless, you are here. A figure appeared on the Black Sacred Mountain and walked in front of Yi Tian. She is the Lord of the Underworld. Not long ago, a clone of Lord Mingyan also came here to practice, and Yi Tian knew about the Black Holy Mountain from the mouth of Lord Mingyan. Lord Mingyan, how is the Black Holy Mountain? Yi Tian asked. Lord Mingyan nodded. It's okay, but it's the first time to comprehend the best effect. Of course, I suggest that you should not exceed 100 eternity years at a time. After comprehending 100 eternity years, and come out. After you have thoroughly digested the insight, you can enter the enlightenment again, which will have the best effect. Besides, in addition to offering sacrifices and enlightenment, there are several good places in the Black Sacred Mountain, which are also worth visiting. 1. Lord Mingyan, if you have time, let me introduce you. Yi Tian said. Sure. Lord Mingyan brought Yi Tian to a long black river in the Black Holy Mountain. This black river is a little weird, it is not the long river of time, but it is even more strange than the long river of time. The power it contains is very strange, as if it is not any kind of power in cognition. You can fish here, the Lord of the Underworld said. Fishing. Yi Tian was surprised. Lord Mingyan pointed to the distance and said, "The Border Lord has once rescued the Star Lord, and a clone of the Border Lord has been fishing here all year round. However, the Peak Legendary Lord cannot enter the river, otherwise his consciousness will be annihilated. However, some special fish creatures can be fished from this river, and these fish creatures are very important to the legendary realm. It is poison to the strong people, but it is food for us in the Peak Legend realm. Existence like us, we have almost no interest in food, and there is no special feeling to eat anything, but the fish here not the same. More importantly, the fish here can temper our will and improve a little will. A will-boosting fish, and it's delicious, that's a great value." Yi Tian knows very well how difficult it is to improve his will, and the same is true for other Peak Legend realm lords. If he wants to continue to improve his will, the time and treasures needed are unimaginable. Endless Lord, when you are idle, you can come here to fish, and fishing is not ordinary. In the Void area, the most powerful fishing skills are the Border Lords, and we ordinary Peak Legend Lords, it is extremely difficult to catch a fish, it takes a long time and enough patience to do it. 1. Come on, I'll take you to another place. Lord Mingyan brought Yi Tian to another place. Here is a mountain crevice. Lord Mingyan pointed at the mountain seam and said, "Lord Endless, this mountain seam is not an ordinary mountain seam. It connects the fog corridor. Even if the Peak Legend Lord enters it, he will be trapped and can hardly get out. But, the fog corridor has a variety of visions, and entering it can also have the effect of tempering, if you are lucky. In other words, I may have witnessed a certain chance vision, and I may not say that the fusion of time and space has greatly improved. Therefore, many Peak Legend Lords will send 5.8 clones into it, and one of mine is also inside. However, nothing has been gained so far. Misty corridor, I get it. Yi Tian is not in a hurry to let the copy body go in, there is no need." Then, Lord Mingyan brought Yi Tian to the sacrificial circle, where he could directly comprehend the fusion of time and space. And this location is located on the top of the Black Holy Mountain, with a huge magic circle on it. Any Peak Legend Realm Lord can enter the magic circle and sacrifice time and space treasures. And after each Peak Legendary Realm Lord enters, they can't meet each other, and they can't perceive each other's existence. Therefore, such a magic circle cannot be arranged by the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, so it is considered to be arranged by the Eternal Master. Chapter 1790 Preliminary Time-Space Fusion. Lord Endless, I won't go to this array, you can go in. The Lord of the Underworld said. It is good. Yi Tian nodded, and immediately walked into this magic circle and came to the void of the magic circle. Buzzing. A sacrificial altar appeared in the void of the magic circle. Just put the time-space treasures into the sacrificial altar, and the scene of the fusion of time and space can be evolved for people to comprehend. Wow! Yi Tian waved his hand, and a large number of space-time treasures were put into it. Soon, the altar of sacrifice released endless rays of light, instantly swallowing these space-time treasures. I can't even perceive where these space-time treasures have gone. Yi Tian secretly said. He even marked some time-space treasures, but they were instantly erased. It seemed that these treasures went to an unknown place and disappeared. Mystery. This magic circle is too mysterious, far from what he can understand and comprehend. Immediately, he should honestly use this magic circle to comprehend the fusion of time and space. Boom. The magic circle is distorted in the void, the power of time and space emerges, and it is immediately presented in a special way, and then 29 are fused together, turning it into the power of time and space control. This magic circle is a fusion of time and space in various ways, suitable for any Peak Legend Lord. And Yi Tian sat cross-legged here, silently comprehending, gradually immersed in the fusion of time and space. He was fascinated, and gradually gained a lot of insights into the fusion of time and space. Moreover, he has a legendary time ancestry and a legendary space ancestry, and his understanding of time and space is naturally far more than other Peak Legend Lords, so the insights he has obtained at this moment far exceed other Peak Legend Lords. Time passed slowly, but a period of time passed. Finally this day, Yi Tian realized the mystery of the fusion of time and space, and the time and space controlled by him began to fuse. In a short while, an incomparably powerful force appeared. Time and space control. At the moment when this power appeared, time power and space power seemed to be lower than any other power. Yi Tian incorporated the power of time and space control into his body, making his body stronger, and the legendary power in his body gradually transformed into the power of time and space control. However, he is not very accomplished in the fusion of time and space, and it is only a preliminary fusion, so only a little legendary power in the body has been transformed into the power of time and space control. Subsequently, Yi Tian continued to comprehend, and when the time-space fusion attainments improved a little, he continued to integrate the time-space power. Before you know it, 100 eternal years have passed. For the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, 100 eternity years is really short, but this time, Yi Tian has benefited a lot, and his attainment in the fusion of time and space has been greatly improved. This time there are too many insights, and it's too late to convert them into strength. After this time, I will go out. Yi Tian muttered. The time-space treasures he offered to sacrifice were enough to support more than 100 eternal years. Soon, more than a dozen eternal years passed. The circle stopped running, indicating that it was time. Immediately, Yi Tian left here. After he left the circle, he sensed Lord Mingyan and found that Lord Mingyan was no longer here. Perhaps he entered the magic circle, or he went out temporarily. Yi Tian guessed. Afterwards, Yi Tian's other duplicate bodies were comprehending and digesting this harvest, but this duplicate body entered the foggy corridor. He was still quite curious about the foggy corridor. Even the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm can be trapped, and so far there has not been a Peak Legend Lord. What a mysterious place this is. There is also a huge gap in strength between the Lords of the Peak Legend Realm. For example, the Lords of the Peak Legend Realm at the 5th level are afraid that they cannot escape from the Lords of the Peak Legend Realm. Yi Tian doesn't think that he can get out of the foggy corridor, but he doesn't care about this duplicate body. Anyway, it's not too expensive to reunite a duplicate body. Wow! Yi Tian directly entered the foggy corridor and disappeared instantly. Foggy corridor. Yi Tian appeared in a foggy area. In fact, it wasn't a real fog, but his perception was blocked, and everything in the outside world was in a special state, so he looked at the surrounding as a fog. This is a special fog state. Even as the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, it is difficult to see clearly. At this time, the induction between Yi Tian and other clones still exists, but it is only induction, unable to break the barrier. Moreover, he couldn't see the entrance of the mountain crevice, and everything around seemed to be foggy. Wow! Yi Tian shuttled continuously, and shuttled at a fast speed, until he used his eye-tip to high-tech eternal light, shuttled in the void in the form of eternal light, but he shuttled for a long time, but still did not fly to the end. It seems that there is no end here. Moreover, he did not perceive the existence of other Peak Legend Lords. Condense a replica body and try to fly from different directions. Yi Tian quickly condensed a duplicate body, and both duplicate bodies are here. Woohoo! After the two duplicate bodies are separated, they can't meet soon, as if the two duplicate bodies are in different time and space, they can't touch at all, and the connection between the two duplicate bodies is no different from the outside world. Immediately, Yi Tian gave up leaving the foggy corridor. He walked slowly in the foggy corridor, comprehending the rules here. He found that he was fighting against the foggy corridor, trying to analyze and understand the foggy state here in 890, which helped to hone his perception and understanding of time and space. Time passed slowly, and the two duplicate bodies had been walking aimlessly without any goal. Gradually, Yi Tian's mood also calmed down. Suddenly one day, Yi Tian's replica body saw a vision after walking. An extraordinary opportunity. He had heard Lord Mingyan say before that there are opportunities in the fog corridor, such as various visions. Each vision represents a different opportunity, and there are no rules. Whether it is possible to encounter visions is entirely a matter of chance. If it is unfortunate, a vision cannot be seen, and that is quite normal. But now, Yi Tian had good luck and saw a vision. Boom! A creature wrapped in thunder and lightning roared in nothingness, and the next moment was crushed by a hand. This scene has been played repeatedly in this area. Battle vision. Yi Tian is very puzzled. Could it be that this is the projection vision of the real battle scene? The creature presented in the vision was terrifying, and the thunder and lightning auras seemed to surpass the thunder paths he knew, and every thunder and lightning aura seemed to be able to injure the weaker Peak Legendary Realm Lords. However, the terrifying big hand was even more terrifying, crushing such a creature to death with one hand. Chapter 1791 The degree of fusion of time and space has soared. Yi Tian was immersed in the vision and realized the use of various powers presented by the vision. He has now stepped into the second level of the Peak Legend Lord, and has embarked on the road of space-time fusion. Next, he must not only continuously integrate the power of time and space, condense the power of time and space, but also create the highest technology of time and space, so that he can completely only by exerting the power of time and space to control the power, the strength can step into the third level. Soon, a period of time has passed, and this battle vision has completely dissipated and will not be repeated. The vision is gone. Yi Tian felt that it was a pity. It would be great if such a vision of chance existed all the time, but it can only exist for such a short period of time, and there are no rules. Of course, once encountered, it is a good opportunity. Yi Tian felt that the fighter fate that he encountered this time should be an ordinary chance, and there should be a better chance. It's no wonder that so many peak legend lords are willing to send a clone into the fog corridor. This is indeed a great benefit. Although sending a clone in is equivalent to losing a great deal of power, under normal circumstances, the peak legend lords they won't fight each other, it's better to let a clone enter the foggy corridor. In the following days, Yi Tian kept walking aimlessly in the foggy corridor, occasionally finding a vision. Moreover, Yi Tian left only one copy body, and after the other copy body was dissolved, he re-entered the Black Sacred Mountain. After entering the Black Sacred Mountain again, Yi Tian came to the Black River in the Black Sacred Mountain. He has already experienced the foggy corridor, but now he can come and experience fishing. As for sacrificing the magic circle to understand the fusion of time and space, it is not urgent. After all, the main body and several other replica bodies are still digesting and comprehending what they learned last time. The harvest has not been completely digested, so there is no need to rush to enlightenment. Yi Tian chose a rock, sat cross-legged here, and went fishing like a mortal. He made a fishing rod at any time and started fishing. However, any fishing line that enters the Long Black River will be melted away by the Long Black River, leaving nothing at all. Not far away, a peak legend realm lord saw this scene and reminded, the Long Black River can't tolerate everything, only the power of time and space or a higher level of time and space control can be condensed into fishing lines and hooks to fish. While fishing there is no need for bait, what you see is your control of the power of time and space or the power of time and space control. In short, you will understand after you catch it. Thank you, Yi Tian thanked. Immediately, Yi Tian condensed into a fishing line with the power of time and space control that had just been condensed, and submerged into the Long Black River. Immediately, Yi Tian sensed the situation inside the Black River through the power of time and space control. This Long Black River seems to be a world under Yi Tian's perception, and those fishes seem to be practitioners in the world of the Black Long River, and as a fisherman, he is an existence that transcends the world and catches these fish across the world. A cultivator would naturally be resisted by the whole world and those fish. Moreover, these fish live in the deepest part of the world of the Long Black River, and the deeper the silk thread that the time-space control power turns into, the more difficult it is to control, and it will even shatter. If it is a thread condensed with the power of time and space, I am afraid it will be even more unbearable. It's very difficult. If you want to catch a fish in the Long Black River, you may need enough strength or a certain amount of luck. Most of the peak legend lords don't really want to catch a fish, they just use this Black Chang Kame to hone his power over time and space or control over time and space. Yi Tian secretly said, unexpected. The thread of the time-space control power controlled by Yi Tian was broken, but he was not disappointed, on the contrary, he was very happy. Next, Yi Tian's replica body is constantly fishing here, tempering his control over the power of time and space. Time passed slowly, one eternity after another. This day, Yi Tian finished fishing. Although he didn't catch a single fish, he gained a lot, and his control over the power of time and space was greatly improved. It's time to comprehend the fusion of time and space again. Yi Tian came to the sacrificial circle, entered the sacrificial circle, and put a large number of space-time treasures into the sacrificial altar for sacrifice. Then, the sacrifice altar devoured these space-time treasures. The next moment, scenes of fusion of time and space were presented in front of him, allowing him to comprehend and comprehend. In this way, another 100 eternity years have passed. Although it was short-lived, Yi Tian gained a lot. After the time came, he came out, and once again let the main body and several copies of the body digest the perception and improve the fusion of time and space. In this way, Yi Tian's time-space fusion attainments are getting higher and more legendary power in the body is transformed into time-space control power, which means that the cultivation base is getting higher and the strength is getting stronger and stronger. The effects of the sacrificial magic circle's first enlightenment and second enlightenment are all good, but after the third enlightenment the effect is much lower. According to this kind of enlightenment efficiency, after dozens of times at most, I am afraid that it will not have much effect. Of course, even if it doesn't have much effect, there are still many peak legend lords who come to the Black Sacred Mountain again after a long period of time, so that they can have a little effect. It can be said that at the level of the Lord of the Peak Legend realm, it is difficult to improve every bit of strength, so even if the price paid is very high, or even not worth it, they will do it. In this way, Yi Tian has been in the Black Sacred Mountains sacrificial array, and has been comprehended many times. However, he still hasn't created a time-space supreme technique. And only by creating the supreme skill of time and space, his strength can step into the third level. Time and space supreme technology combines the power of time and space control with the power of time and space, plus many ways of controlling, thus creating a kind of supreme technology that surpasses the top to the advanced level. Quote. The next goal is to create a time-space supreme technology. Yi Tian muttered. This day, when Yi Tian's replica body was walking in the foggy corridor, he suddenly encountered an astonishing vision. Chapter 1792 Comprehend the supreme skill of time and space and enter the third level. Foggy corridor. Yi Tian suddenly saw a tree. This tree was not a real tree, it was just a vision. This tree is not big, but it is very extraordinary. This tree has dense purple lines, and each line contains a piece of heaven and earth. Immediately, Yi Tian sat under this tree and began to comprehend the many mysteries contained in this tree. Each stripe of this tree has a different path and contains different Taos, but they are all derivations of time and space, and even help me create the highest technology of time and space. 1. Yi Tian said excitedly. The reason why it is so difficult to create the supreme technology of time and space is that it is difficult to combine time and space to exert a powerful power, and the purple lines on this tree have inspired Yi Tian. Next, Yi Tian fully comprehended this vision, hoping to comprehend a time-space supreme skill as soon as possible. Before you know it, a period of time has passed. Suddenly, the tree disappeared, and the vision dissipated. Pity, Yi Tian said regretfully. This vision was the one that helped him the most among the visions he had ever seen, and it was definitely a top-level vision. Even with the help of this vision, he realized it for a short period of time, and his harvest was enormous. And this kind of luck may be just this one time, but the time that the vision exists is too short. Fortunately, I'm about to create the supreme time-space technology in my heart, and I should spend more time creating it successfully. Yi 890 thought to himself. Then, in the long years that followed, Yi Tian tried his best to practice the supreme time-space technique he wanted to create. Fail, fail, fail again. Yi Tian summed up the experience from countless failures, plus his own perception of the fusion of time and space, and the last time he learned about the vision of the tree in the foggy corridor. Under the combination of many factors, Yi Tian finally created a time-space supreme skill on this day. Touch of the Void. This is the supreme skill of time and space created by Yi Tian. I saw the void area. Yi Tian's two duplicate bodies were testing the power of this time-space supreme technique. One of Yi Tian's cloned bodies removed all defenses, and he didn't even wear an eternal treasure. And the other copy body directly cast the touch of the void. CJFI. A purple hand instantly passed through the body of the second copy body, and the second copy body shattered directly in the next moment. One hit kill. If other Peak Legend Realm Lords are willing to test the clones, Yi Tian doesn't care. The power of the touch of the void is terrifying, and it almost perfectly combines time and space. Although my clone body does not have any defenses, I am strong enough. In terms of life protection, it is still comparable to the average Peak Legend Lord. In other words, with my touch of the void, I can kill an ordinary Peak Legend Realm Lord and inflict heavy damage on an ordinary second-level Peak Legend Realm Lord. Yi Tian reckoned. It has to be said that the Peak Legendary Realm Lords who can master time and space and those who cannot master time and space have two levels of strength. After creating a time-space supreme skill, Yi Tian is already considered the third level of the Peak Legend Lord, but it is the weakest third level unless he creates a few more time-space supreme skills. But Yi Hao knew very well that he was able to create a time-space supreme skill this time, and he almost exhausted his perception. Neither his aura nor his understanding would allow him to create another time-space supreme skill in a short period of time, unless there are other bigger opportunities. Of course, this time, he created a time-space supreme technique, which made Yi Tian's strength skyrocket. He also wanted to relax and not rush to practice. So, on this day, Yi Tian came to the Black River in the Black Sacred Mountain. He came here again to fish and relax. And, this time, his control over the power of time and space is far from being comparable to before. After all, he is now the third level of the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm. To put it bluntly, he is already the real peak of the Void region. There are not many Peak Legend Realms. The Lord is stronger than him. Call out. Time and space control power condensed into a fishing line, entered the Long Black River, shuttled in the world of the Long Black River, looking for the fish in the Long Black River. Go deep. Go deeper. This time, Yi Tian seemed very relaxed, and the fishing line transformed by the power controlled by time and space was extremely stable. No matter how the power of the Black River eroded and destroyed, the fishing line could not be broken. Soon, Yi Tian sensed a fish. The fish had red scales all over its body, and its aura was very powerful, with about half the strength of a legendary lord. Moreover, it sensed Yi Tian's fishing line and was about to escape. However, it's still a little slower. Puff! The fishing line ran through its body, turned into a hook, and took it up directly. Soon, this one was caught by Yi Tian. As soon as the Black River came out, this fish burst out with a terrifying aura and wanted to resist, but was sealed by Yi Tian with one hand, completely turning into a red fish with no resistance. Yi Tian caught a fish and attracted the attention of several nearby peak legend lords. Congratulations to the Endless Lord. Good luck to the Endless Lord. I have fished countless eternal era here, and I have not caught a single one. The Endless Lord is still very powerful. It didn't take long before I caught a fish. Lord Endless, how about selling this fish to me? Yi Tian apologized for wanting to buy the Lord of the Legendary Realm at the peak of the fish. Sorry, I haven't fished the Black Seven yet, so I keep it for myself. The other peak legend lords didn't say anything. After all, they only caught a fish, and it was nothing new. For example, the frontier lords who had the best fishing skills often caught fish, so there was nothing to be surprised about. The only surprise is that Yi Tian caught fish not long after he arrived. They only think that Yi Tian is lucky, and they don't think that Yi Tian's strength has reached the third level of the peak legendary lord. After all, it wasn't long before Yi Tian was promoted to the pinnacle legend realm lord. And the lords of the peak legend realm who have just been promoted generally do not even know the top level high tech. After learning more top level high tech, they have to integrate time and space. After the fusion of time and space gives birth to time-space control power, they have to create time and space to achieve high tech. Only in this way can they become the third-level peak legend lord. Therefore, they will not think that Yi Tian has reached the third level of the peak legend lord, but only think that Yi Tian is lucky. Subsequently, Yi Tian left the Black Sacred Mountain, and he was going to go back to share this red fish with the legendary realm lords of the real No Sacred Land. If only lords above the legendary realm can eat such delicacies, otherwise he really wants to share it with his family, but unfortunately they can't eat it. Soon, Yi Tian returned to the Holy Land, and notified the other legendary lords and the lords of Mingyan to come. Chapter 1793 Yi Tian and #039's new plan, looking for treasures. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Soon, Lord Mingyan and other legendary lords of the Holy Land came. Lord Endless, what do you want us to do? The Lord of Mingyan asked. At this time, Yi Tian took out the fish that came from the long Black River. As soon as this fish appeared, other legendary realm lords were a little confused and did not know this fish, but Mingyan Lord naturally knew it. This is a fish from the long Black River. Endless Lord, did you catch a fish? The Lord of Mingyan was extremely surprised. Yes. Yi Tian nodded. Immediately, Yi Tian said again, this fish is very delicious, and it also helps to temper the will, so I invite you to taste it. Lord Mingyan was overjoyed. Ha ha ha, I really haven't eaten this kind of fish, but this time, it's because of the blessing of the Endless Lord. Definitely, you have to taste it. Lord Longu and the others were very confused and could not help but ask, Lord Endless, Lord Mingyan, what's the situation? The long Black River, fish, why can't we understand it? So, Yi Tian explained. There is a place in the void area called Black Sacred Mountain, only the lords of the peak legend realm can enter, and there is a long Black River in the Black Sacred Mountain, and this fish is the fish in the Black Long River. It is very difficult to catch this kind of fish. Many peak legend lords can't catch a fish. Only legendary lords can taste this kind of fish. Legendary lords are not qualified to taste it, otherwise they will surely die. And it can temper the will, which is the dream of many legendary lords. So it is. Lord Longu and the others understood, and they were looking forward to it one by one. Next, Yi Tian and the others cooked this fish for everyone to taste. Legendary realm lords eat ordinary food without feeling and cannot stimulate their taste buds, but this time, the legendary realm lords are very excited to eat. Moreover, a mysterious force is tempering their will. For Yi Tian, the tempering effect is average, but for the legendary lord, the tempering effect is very good. Lord Longu, Lord Wufrost, Lord Baihang, they are all immersed in the tempering of will. For them, food is the next best thing, but this kind of opportunity to quickly temper the will is rare, and every improvement is a good choice. Many legendary lords slowly tasted it, and this fish was big enough, so they ate it for a long time before they completely ate it. At this time, they were still unsatisfied and wanted to eat another meal. Lord Endless, when can we have another meal? This fish is really delicious. Lord Longu said. Lord Mignon said. Lord Longu, this kind of fish is extremely rare, even I can't get it, its value is enough to make a peak legend lord help, how can you eat it if you want? Ha ha ha, it's okay, if I catch one next time, I will give you one. Yi Tian said indifferently. Anyway, with his current strength, it is not really difficult to catch a fish. At that time, if it's a big deal, I will catch an extra fish and give it to these legendary lords. Black Holy Mountain, Black Long River. Yi Tian came here to fish again, in order to hone his control over the power of time and space. However, even if he has reached the third level of the Peak Legend Lord, it is not very easy to catch a fish, because the long black river is too big and endless, but the fish in it is not endless. It also takes time to find fish. Strength and luck are the secret to easily catching fish, and the reason why the Border Lord can easily catch fish is that he has mastered a time-space supreme skill that can specialize in fishing, so he can easily find those fish. For the sake of fishing, a time-space supreme skill of fishing was specially created, and only the Border Lords who love fishing would do this. Fishing, tempering, occasionally entering the magic circle to understand the fusion of time and space, and then using the visionary opportunity of the foggy corridor to understand one or two. And just like that, hundreds of eternal era years passed. During this period, Yi Tian caught a lot of fish, some of which were given to the legendary realm lords of the Holy Land, and the rest went into his stomach. I have to say that after eating so many fish, my willpower has improved a lot, but it is still far from the 8th order will, and he has only improved a little in the 7th order peak will. If he ate all the fish in this long black river, he might still have the hope of being promoted to the 8th order will, but that is not realistic at all. For flowers, the sacrificial array of Black Sacred Mountain is useless to me, no matter how I comprehend it, the effect will not be great. It's just that the occasional chance encounter in the foggy corridor is still somewhat useful to me, but it's basically not too useful. You must find other opportunities to quickly improve your strength, otherwise your strength will stagnate for a long time. Yi Tian thought so. However, the void area is as open as the Black Sacred Mountain and is a treasure land that is of great use to the lords of the Peak Legendary Realm. Occupied, will not easily let out. Let's first investigate the treasures in the void area that are of great use to the lords of the Peak Legend Realm. 0. Yi Tian came to the time firm of Infinite Sea, and the Lord of Xinyang immediately came out to greet him. I have seen the Endless Lord. Lord Xinyang said with great respect. Once upon a time, Yi Tian was just a legendary Lord of Detachment, and he was a legendary Lord of the Aloof. But now, Yi Tian is already the Lord of the Pinnacle Legendary Realm resounding in the Void region, far above him, and his strength has hardly improved much. Thinking of this, the Lord of Xinyang was filled with emotion. Lord Xinyang, I want to know the information about the treasure land in the Void area. Any treasure land that is helpful to the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm, please give me a piece of information. Your time business should have such information. Yi Tian said. Yes, but almost all of these treasures have owners. Lord Xinyang said. I know. Yi Tian nodded, but I still want to know the detailed information. Lord Xinyang said quickly. Lord Endless, I have already contacted the headquarters, and the headquarters will send detailed information and give it to Lord Endless for free. Thank you so much then. Yi Tian accepted. A Peak Legend Realm Lord like him, even a time firm would have to win over him vigorously. In this era, there are only 5 Peak Legend Realm Lords in the time trading firm, so any Peak Legendary Realm Lord, the time trading firm does not want to offend, and will be extremely polite. Soon, this piece of information was sent to Yi Tian's hands. Chapter 1794 Boundless Mountain, I want it. Yi Tian got this piece of information and asked Lord Xinyang to leave, and slowly watched it by himself. There are a total of hundreds of treasures recorded above, all of which are of great help to the lords of the Peak Legend Realm, and the number is still quite large. Among them, Suyang Mountain is impressively listed, but it is only ranked 32nd. These treasures are all occupied by forces or powerhouses, and some forces have eternal masters behind them, so no one dares to snatch them. For example, Time Firm, or Qinglian Holy Land. No one dared to offend these forces with eternal masters, not even the white-bearded old man. Therefore, Yi Tian naturally did not dare to pay attention to these treasures. Suddenly, Yi Tian's eyes locked on a treasure. Infinite Mountain. Yi Tian knew that the Wuliang mountain was occupied by the Wuang Lord and served as the headquarters of the Holy Land of Wuang Holy Land. The Wuliang mountain was actually a treasure, and it was the only place in the Wulianghai that was the only place in the infinite sea that could be used by the Peak Legend Realm Lord. All have great treasures. Moreover, this information details the introduction of Wuliangshan. Infinite Mountain has three major opportunities. One is the infinite tree. Every eternal era will bear an infinite fruit, and the infinite fruit will help the lords of the Peak Legend realm to increase their understanding and enhance their willpower, but taking too much if there are too many, the effect will be very low. The second biggest opportunity is the Boundless World, which is a mysterious world inside the Boundless Mountain, which can help the leader of the Peak Legend realm to practice top-level supreme skills and time-space supreme skills. It's a pity that Lord Wuang is just average in talent, and this treasure was wasted. If it were another Peak Legendary Lord, he would have created many top-notch skills with the help of boundless heaven and earth, so he wouldn't be at the bottom of the Peak Legendary Lord level. The third great opportunity is the Immeasurable Stone. The immeasurable mountain is rich in a kind of immeasurable stone, and the immeasurable stone is of high value. It can be integrated into the eternal treasure and improve the level of the eternal treasure. For example, if the lower rank eternal treasure is merged with a large number of infinite mountains, it can be promoted to the middle eternal treasure. For the legendary realm lord, the value of the median eternal treasure is also very high. It's a pity that the immeasurable stone cannot make the middle rank eternal treasure be upgraded to the upper rank eternal treasure, otherwise the value of the immeasurable stone will be even higher. The treasure land of Wuliangshan is like a normal, far less than the Black Holy Mountain. Yi Tian thought to himself. However, if the treasure land of Wuliangshan is comparable to the Black Sacred Mountain, the strength of Lord Wuang will not be able to keep it. It is precisely because Wuliang Mountain is useful to the lords of the Peak Legend realm, but it is not very useful, so after the Lord Wuang occupies it, other lords of the Peak Legend realm will not come to snatch it. It happens that I have a conflict with Lord Wuang, so I will occupy Wuliang Mountain. Yi Tian decided. Infinite seas, infinite mountains. Lord Wuang's body was cultivating in boundless heaven and earth, and suddenly the time and space of boundless mountain oscillated, causing a warning from the great array of Wuang Holy Land. Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm. Lord Wuang came out immediately. He thought it was a certain Peak Legend Realm Lord visiting, but when he sensed it, he found out that it was Yi Tian, the Peak Legend Realm Lord. The Endless Lord, it's you, the Holy Land of Wuang does not welcome you. Lord Wuang expelled coldly. Yi Tian directly announced. Lord Wuang, I want Wuliangshan, you choose another place as the headquarters of Wuang Holy Land. When Lord Wuang heard this, he was instantly furious. Lord Endless, you are too arrogant. You dare to spy on my Wuang Holy Land. Although you are also the Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm, you have only just broken through. And this is my home. Boom, the clones of Lord Wuang came. At this time, the main body of Lord Wuang plus 3 clones, the 4 Peak Legendary Lords were all present. At the same time, the great formation of Wuang Holy Land was also controlled by Lord Wuang, which greatly increased his strength. In this way, Lord Wuang is confident. Even if he can't compete with Yi Tian and Lord Mingyun's alliance, does the Holy Land really dare to fight against the Holy Land of Wuang? It's not that he doesn't have friends with the lords of the Peak Legend realm, and when it comes time to fight for life and death, he will also ask for help. Therefore, he thought that Yi Tian would not dare to make a real shot. However, his estimate was wrong. Yi Tian really shot. I saw a purple hand instantly penetrated a clone of Lord Wuang, and a terrifying power erupted, instantly shattering Lord Wuang's clone. One hit kill. Lord Wuang's clone was killed, he didn't even react, and he was stunned. Time and space supreme technology. He looked at Yi Tian in panic, revealing an unbelievable look. He never imagined that Yi Tian would actually comprehend the supreme skill of time and space. How did he do it? Comprehending the supreme skill of time and space, Yi Tian must have embarked on the road of time and space fusion, giving birth to the power of time and space control. That is to say, Yi Tian must have reached the 3rd level of the Pinnacle Legendary Realm Lord. Most of the Pinnacle Legend Lords in the Void area are at the 1st level, and those who reach the 2nd level belong to a small number, and there are even fewer Peak Legend Lords who have reached the 3rd level. Yi Tian is the 3rd level, while he is the 1st level, and the two sides are 2 levels apart. The Endless Lord can kill me in seconds. What he just dealt with was my clone. If he attacked my main body, wouldn't I just fall? Lord Wuang was terrified. If he offends the 1st level Peak Legend Realm Lord, he can find a few friends to help him. However, he offended the 3rd level Peak Legend Realm Lord, and no one would come to help. Lord Endless, I will move the holy land of eternity away. Lord Wuong confessed. Compared with life, what is the holy land of Wuong, and what is a treasured land? If it is gone, it will be gone. He has an infinite lifespan and is at the pinnacle level of the nothingness region. Except for a few peak legend lords like Yi Tian, he is almost invincible, and he lives very comfortably, and naturally he doesn't want to die. Give you 10 minutes, Yi Tian said. Yes. Lord Wuong immediately took away his treasure house and treasures. Immediately, an order was given. Wuong Holy Land, all members, all evacuated from Wuliang Mountain, Wuong Holy Land will be relocated, and those who violate it will be permanently expelled from Wuong Holy Land. 1. Lord Wuong's voice spread throughout the entire Wuong Holy Land. This order of Lord Wuong made countless members of the entire Wuong Holy Land sluggish. 5.8 So, one after another, the lords of the legendary realm were asking about the Lord Wuong. Lord Wuong, why do you want to relocate? A legendary lord. Don't ask, leave immediately, otherwise the holy land of Wuong will cease to exist, and both you and I will have to die. Lord Wuong reluctantly responded. At this time, the lords of the legendary realm also noticed the existence of Yi Tian, and they all guessed in their hearts. And the Black Water Lord was shocked. Once upon a time, Yi Tian was just a small person in his eyes, but now he can force Lord Wuong to give up Wuliang Mountain. From this, it can be seen that Yi Tian's strength is afraid to surpass Lord Wuong. It's a pity that Yi Tian and Lord Wuong's brief fight was at another time and space level, and the legendary lords didn't know at all, otherwise they would be even more surprised. The movement of Wuong Holy Land was very fast, and almost the entire Wuong Holy Land was moved away in an instant. In the blink of an eye, there is no building in the vast mountains. Chapter 1795 The second gate of time and space is the highest technology. Get out, Yi Tian said to Lord Wuong. Yes, Lord Wuong responded quickly. He didn't dare to stay here, otherwise if Yi Tian wanted to kill him, he would not be able to resist at all, the difference in strength between the two was too great. Wow, Lord Wuong left and disappeared in this area together with other members of Wuong Holy Land. Wuong Holy Land is not only this site, but also controls many territories, so you can choose an ordinary treasure land to settle down as the headquarters of Wuong Holy Land. Although doing this will make Wuong Holy Land lose face, and its prestige will be greatly reduced, completely falling from the first Holy Land of the Infinite Sea to the second Holy Land, but at least it can be preserved forever. Immeasurable Mountain is too big, and it's boring for me to stay here alone, so let me tell you that there is no holy place, and we will set up our headquarters here in the future. Yi Tian decided. In addition, he also plans to relocate a part of the human race to this area. After all, this is the treasure he has obtained, and he can naturally arrange it himself. Immediately, he notified the Lord of Mingyan. Wow! Lord Mingyan came here, and other legendary lords also came. Seeing the changes of Wuliang Mountain, he was immediately shocked. The 29th Lord of Endless Leader, what's going on here? What about the Holy Land of Wuong? Lord Mingyan was surprised. Yi Tian said with a smile, the Holy Land of Wuong has been relocated. From now on, this place will be used as the headquarters of the Holy Land. The Wuliang Mountain is a rare treasure, and it is much better than the reality without the Holy Land. What? The Holy Land of Wuong has been relocated. The other legendary realm lords were shocked. They are not stupid, and naturally they will not think that the Wuong Holy Land is the one who gave up the Wuliang Mountain. The treasure of the Wuliang Mountain is the most precious treasure of the boundless sea. It is said that even some peak legend realm lords want such a treasure. Lord Endless, what kind of strength do you have now? Lord Wuong would give up Wuliangshan. With his character, it is impossible to give up easily. It must be far inferior to you and even endanger his life. Lord Mingyan said. I created a time-space supreme technique. Yi Tian said simply. As soon as these words came out, the Lord Mingyan was shocked. Created the supreme skill of time and space, which has clearly informed Yi Tian's strength. The third level of the peak legend lord. Lord Mingyan is very unbelievable. Yi Tian clearly broke through to the peak legendary realm lord behind him, and he is still at the first level. So far he has not reached the second level, and even feels that he has no hope. But now, Yi Tian has stepped into the second level and reached the third level. She was really excited. Ha ha ha, Wuliang Mountain actually belongs to our really holy land. I will inform you that the really holy land will be relocated to Wuliang Mountain. Lord Longu said excitedly. Yes, let me know immediately. A legendary realm lord took action. In just one day, Zhengwu Holy Land completed the relocation plus a series of planning issues. And the latter matter does not need Yi Tian to deal with. He came to the infinite tree, blocked it, and did not allow other legendary realm lords to approach. He occupies the entire boundless mountain, so he occupies the boundless tree, and no one dares to oppose it, and neither does the Lord Mingyan dare to oppose it. The immeasurable fruit has not been born yet. An immeasurable fruit has been born in an eternal era. The previous immeasurable fruit was picked by the Wuong Lord. Yi Tian secretly said. Immediately, he went to the boundless world again. Boom! Yi Tian came to the boundless world and immediately felt the specialness of this world. He began to practice top-notch skills in this world, trying to create a top-notch skill, which was not difficult for him, but in the process of creating and practicing, this world was helping him invisibly, allowing him to he produces a correct guide. For example, if he made a mistake in the exercise, this world will make him feel that it is wrong to do so. How can the exercise be successful? Interesting, with this kind of support from heaven and earth, if I go to create the highest skill in time and space, the difficulty will be reduced by at least 10 times or even more. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. He now feels that Lord Wuong is really a waste. With such a treasure to assist, he has not yet created a second top-notch high-tech. Next, Yi Tian's body has been comprehending and practicing the supreme skill of time and space in the immeasurable world of the infinite mountain, and the practice of the supreme skill of time and space here will not affect the outside of the boundless world at all, so it will not affect the members of the true Holy Land. Infinite Mountains, Tianlin Islands. Lord Wuong came here with the members of Wuong Holy Land, which was originally a territory of Wuong Holy Land, and has now been chosen as the headquarters of Wuong Holy Land. Soon, Wuong Holy Land completely built its headquarters here and stabilized. However, the mood of Lord Wuong is difficult to stabilize. The Endless Lord, it's too deceiving. Lord Wuong was extremely angry. But he didn't dare to trouble Yi Tian because he couldn't beat it. However, he swore that if there was a chance in the future, he would definitely take revenge. Infinite Mountains, measure the world. Yi Tian has been comprehending here, and soon half an eternal era has passed. On this day, there was movement at the immeasurable tree, and an immeasurable fruit was born. Yi Tian picked this immeasurable fruit immediately, and immediately swallowed it, slowly refining it. As the infinite fruit was refined, Yi Tian found that his comprehension had increased a little by 890 liters. Although it was very weak, it had indeed improved. Moreover, his will was slowly being tempered, and the effect was still good. Moreover, when the infinite fruit is effective, you can take the opportunity to practice the supreme skill of creating time and space, and the effect will be much better. The effect of an immeasurable fruit is still average. After picking multiple immeasurable fruits next time, let's take it together. Yi Tian decided. In the following years, he continued to create and practice the second time-space supreme skill, and harvested countless fruits. Unknowingly, the 500 eternal era years passed, and Yi Tian also obtained 500 infinite fruits. This day, Yi Tian swallowed all 500 immeasurable fruits in one breath, and the endless energy burst out, all of which were refined by Yi Tian. Yi Tian's will is rapidly tempered and improved, and his comprehension has temporarily improved a lot, and countless auras have appeared, which is of great help to him in creating the supreme skill of time and space. Moreover, Yi Tian himself was almost on the verge of creating the second time-space supreme skill. Another copy of Yi Tian's body entered the Black Holy Mountain's sacrificial circle again, and used the fusion of time and space there to understand it. Black Holy Mountain Sacrifice Array, Immeasurable Fruit, Immeasurable World. After the combination of many factors, Yi Tian finally succeeded in creating the second time-space supreme technique after spending a period of time. Crystal, Chapter 1796 The City of Daoyu. The second time-space supreme skill created by Yi Tian is to walk in nothingness. This is a speed-based time-space supreme skill, and it has the effect of counteracting attacks. While walking in nothingness, more than 90% of the enemy's attack will be cancelled if it falls on one's body. After all, he currently has an attacking time-space supreme technique Void Touch, so there is no need to create another attack-type time-space supreme technique. Creating a time-space supreme technique such as Void Walk can help improve his strength. With the creation of the time-space supreme technique of nothingness walking, Yi Tian's strength has been greatly improved. Next, Yi Tian did not create a time-space supreme technique. It would be very difficult for him to create another time-space supreme technique in a short period of time. Therefore, he devoted himself to improving his time-space control power and raising his time-space to the highest body. His supreme legendary body is already a culmination, and it is difficult to continue to improve, but the time and space supreme body formed by the control of time and space can continue to improve, and the physical strength will become stronger and stronger. Improving the fusion of time and space is equivalent to improving the cultivation base. Not only will the power of time and space control increase, but the height of time and space will also increase, and the strength will naturally increase. Moreover, he can enjoy an immeasurable fruit every other eternal era, and after a long time, he can also improve a lot of willpower. In addition, Yi Tian also occasionally comprehends other Taos, trying to control more Taos, which is also good for his own accumulation. With the passage of time, Yi Tian has more and more legendary ancestors, and naturally there are more and more Taos under his control. In a flash, hundreds of eternal epochs have passed. This day, Yi Tian was comprehending and practicing, and Lord Mingyan came to inform Yi Tian of a major news. Lord Endless, I'm chatting with other lords of the Peak Legend realm, and I have to know that the city of the domain is about to open. The Lord of the Underworld said. Dao City. Yi Tian naturally knew this place. This city is located in an untouchable mysterious place. It is said to be a place established by several eternal masters, and has given a chance, any Peak Legend realm lord can enter it. However, it will only be opened once for a long time. Usually, no one can enter the city of Daoyu, or even find it or perceive it. Is the news accurate? Yi Tian asked. Lord Mingyan affirmed. Accurately, it came from the mouth of a Peak Legend realm lord of the Time Company, and it was the news revealed by the eternal controller behind the Time Company. 1. The news revealed by the eternal master must be true. Yi Tian was also quite excited when he thought of the city of Taoism. Rumor has it that the city of Taoism is an opportunity left by the eternal controllers to the lords of the Peak Legend realm, and there is no restriction, any lord of the Peak Legend realm can go there. It does not belong to any power, nor does it belong to any eternal master. The Dao Domain city is divided into 3 Dao domains, the first Dao domain, the second Dao domain, and the third Dao domain. The third Dao domain contains the greatest chance, but to reach the third Dao domain requires strength and understanding talent, and other comprehensive factors. Most of the Peak Legend lords can only stay in the first realm, but if they can enter it, they are lucky, they can break the shackles and improve their strength. For example, some Peak Legend realm lords entered the city of Taoism, and after coming out, they broke through from the first level to the second level. Of course, there are also legendary lords who are in shackles themselves, so they did not break the shackles, and their strength did not improve much, but there are still some gains, at least it will be easier to break the shackles in the future. At this time, the news that the city of Taoism is about to open spread throughout the entire void area, and many Peak Legend realm lords are excited. Infinite Sea, no eternal holy land. Lord Wuong also learned the news of Daoyu City and was quite excited. If I use the Dao Domain City to break through to the second level of the Peak Legend Lord this time, even if I can't beat Yi Tian, the Endless Lord, but he wants to kill me with one blow. Moreover, I have obtained that treasure can only be controlled by the power of time and space control. Breaking through to the second level, with the power of time and space control, my strength will skyrocket, and I don't necessarily need to be afraid of the Endless Lord. Lord Wuong secretly said. He is looking forward to the opening of Daoyu City. And there are many Peak Legend lords who are looking forward to it like Lord Wuong, and they are all preparing. Before you know it, hundreds of eternity years have passed. This day, somewhere in the void area, an illusory giant city emerged. Soon, the lords of the Peak Legend realm came here. Yi Tian and Lord Mingyan also came, and Lord Glacier also came. Lord Jianyi, Lord Wuong, Lord of Border. However, the white-bearded old man did not come, but the Lord of Shanshan came. Not long ago, the Lord of the Mountain also broke through to the peak of the legendary Lord, and thus was qualified to enter the city of Taoism. Endless Lord, Mountain Shaking Lord, Yi Tian greeted the Lord Shaking Mountain. They are all entering the Dao Domain City for the first time, but the Glacier Lord is the second time. Lord Shaking Mountain, won't the white-bearded old man enter the city of Taoism? Yi Hao asked curiously. The Lord of Shanshan explained. The Endless Lord, my master has no interest in the city of Taoism, and the city of Taoism does not help my master much. With the identity and status of my master, I can even directly contact the Eternal Controller. It is necessary to attend. 1. When Yi Tian heard this, he was even more curious about the strength of the white-bearded old man. Even in places like Daoyu City, the white-bearded old man has no interest. Perhaps by Qian Nuo's old man Shu has reached the 5th level sage of the peak legendary lord. 1 inch. Yi Tian guessed. If you reach this level, you will hardly be able to progress any further. You can only attack the eternal controller, but if you fail, it will be the end of your fall. Therefore, the white-bearded old man does not want to attack the eternal controller now. Of course, the city of Dao Domain produced a special wave, connecting the area where Yi Tian and other peak legendary realm lords were located. You can go in. One after another, the lords of the peak legendary realm flew into the city of Taoism. Layers of time and space were crossed, and soon they came to a new world, but it seemed that they did not really enter the city. From the perspective of Yi Tian and the others, the city is still in an untouchable state. But all the lords of the peak legend realm are very clear that they have come to the first domain of the city of Taoism. Chapter 1797 3000 Road Tablets, Control 100 Roads. First domain. This is where most of the peak legend realm lords can only come, and they cannot reach the second realm. But even the first realm is a rare treasure for the lords of the peak legend realm. In the first realm, it is easier to understand time and space, but this is only a side benefit. The biggest advantage of the first realm is that it will breed some time and space stones. These time and space stones will be randomly bred, and it is difficult to perceive, can only be seen and touched with the naked eye. The time and space stone can absorb the time power and space power of the peak legend lord, so that the time power and space power can be merged and turned into the power of time and space control. Although it is to temporarily condense the power of time and space control, if there are enough time and space stones, the lord of the peak legend can continue to have the experience of condensing the power of time and space in advance, and there is a great hope to become the second level peak legend in the future. Lord. Therefore, the purpose of many peak legendary realm lords coming to Dao Domain City is to find the time and space Dao Stone. Whoa. One after another, the lords of the peak legend realm scattered, and went to find the time and space stone. Lord Endless, I'm looking for the time and space stone. The lord of the underworld said. Go. Yi Tian nodded. Immediately, the main body and avatar of Lord Mignon went to 890 to find the time and space stone. Yi Tian is not very interested in the time and space stone, he is already the third level of the peak legend realm lord, the time and space stone does not help him much. Therefore, he shuttled towards the city of Taoism. Soon, a gate of time and space stopped in front of him. If you want to shuttle into the second realm, you must pass through the gate of time and space, and the first level peak legend lord cannot shuttle there, which is also a test of strength. I saw that Yi Tian stepped into this gate of time and space, and the dense space and time barriers were superimposed together, turning this piece of void into an endless prison. Yi Tian used the touch of the void, a big purple hand tore apart the endless space-time barriers in an instant, and immediately passed through. Second domain. Yi Tian came in. This is an endless earth, and in the center of the earth, is the city of Dao Domain, which belongs to the second Dao Domain. At this time, not only Yi Tian came in, but Lord Glacier and Lord Sword One also came in. Basically, as long as the second level peak legend realm lord can enter the second realm. Yi Tian also knew a little about the situation of the second Dao Domain. The second domain has a lot of resources. If you are lucky, you can even obtain the resources that are useful to the third level peak legend lord. Of course, that takes a long time to find. The real big chance of the second Dao Domain is the 3000 road tablets. Each type of road tablet contains a big chance. A type of road tablet represents a road. Once you understand this road tablet, you will completely control a road. The most valuable of them are the Time Dao Monument and the Space Dao Monument. Although the Lord of the Peak Legendary Realm has already controlled time and space, if he comprehends the Time Dao Monument and the Space Dao Monument, he will still have a great harvest, which will help him create the supreme skill of time and space. Therefore, many second-level peak legend realm lords came to this second realm to understand the time and space monuments. If they can use the time and space monuments to create the highest technology of time and space, they can break through to the third level. It is conceivable what kind of opportunity it is to enter the second realm. To enter the third Dao Domain, it is not that the strength reaches the third level of the peak legendary realm lord, but it is necessary to understand 10 Dao monuments. In short, the more Taoist tablets you comprehend, the greater the benefits. However, Yi Tian didn't know exactly what benefits would be obtained. Go to the Time Monument first. Yi Tian quickly came to the Time Dao Monument, where the Glacier Lord was also comprehending. Yi Tian and Glacier Lord looked at each other, nodded, and did not communicate much. At this time, comprehending the Time Monument is the most important thing. Yi Tian comprehended here, and soon completely understood the mystery on the Time Dao Monument, and realized a little connection CJFI with the Time Dao Monument. At this time, he can still feel that the Time Dao monument is of great help to him. If he realizes the highest skill of creating time here, the efficiency will be many times higher. However, Yi Tian gave up. He left the Time Dao monument and went to the Space Dao monument. In a short time, Yi Tian once again understood the Space Dao monument and had a connection with the Space Dao monument. Then, Yi Tian came to the Sword Dao monument. There is also a peak legend realm lord here, Lord Jianyi. Lord Jianyi is the peak legendary lord of the Heavenly Sword clan. Yi Tian once went to the Heavenly Sword clan and copied the kendo talent of the Heavenly Sword clan. However, Lord Sword 1 was wholeheartedly focused on comprehending the Sword Dao tablet, so he did not pay attention to Yi Tian's arrival at all. After Yi Tian understood the kendo tablet, he went to the other tablets. With the passage of time, Yi Tian understood one after another Taoist monument, and soon realized 10 Taoist monuments. At this time, he sensed that he could enter the third realm. He could easily tear apart the shackles and enter the third realm, but he did not immediately go to the third realm. He continued to comprehend these Taoist monuments, and for him, this time was also an opportunity. In fact, he only has dozens of Taos. If he uses the Taoism tablet here, he should have the hope of raising the Taos under his control to more than 100, which will help him improve his strength and stabilize his foundation in the future. He owns a lot of legendary ancestral gifts, but unfortunately it takes too long to control a Tao. After all, his cultivation years are still short, so there is no way to control too many Tao. However, these Tao tablets can make him control these Tao faster, so he wants to seize this opportunity. Before he knew it, Yi Tian had already controlled dozens of paths. This time, Yi Tian came to the Shadow Dao monument, and he did not control the Shadow Dao. Therefore, he began to constantly comprehend the Shadow Dao monument, and he also possessed shadow biography and ancestral gifts, comprehend the Shadow Dao monument, and the speed of progress was extremely fast. Time passed slowly, and finally on this day, Yi Tian successfully controlled the Way of Shadows. In this way, Yi Tian uses these Dao tablets to control more and more Dao. 60 ways, 70 ways, 80 ways. The opening time of Daoyu City is 10 eternal era. Once the 10 eternal era has passed, Daoyu City will be hidden again, and Yi Tian and other peak legendary realm lords will be kicked out. Yi Tian also wanted to enter the third realm immediately, but the Taoist tablet in the second realm also helped him a lot, so he didn't know how to choose. For 5 eternal era, I must enter the third realm, and I can't waste too much time in the second realm. Yi Tian planned. When the 5 eternal epochs were about to pass, Yi Tian took control of the 100th path. And at this moment, a mutation arose. Chapter 1798 Reserve Members of the Eternal Palace. Yi Tian comprehended the 100th Dao stele, which resonated with the 100 Dao stele. In an instant, a stone stair appeared in front of him, leading to the endless depths. This is. Yi Tian was shocked, because this doesn't seem to be going to the third realm, but a deeper place. Could it be that there is a fourth realm? Yi Tian walked up this stone step with doubts. But other peak legend realm lords did not sense this stone step at all, only thought that Yi Tian had entered the third realm. After stepping into the stone steps, Yi Tian clearly sensed the changes in the surrounding time and space, as if he had crossed a long distance in one step, leading to an unknown depth. After a while, he walked all the stone steps and came to a new world. At this moment, a voice sounded. The Endless Lord Yi Tian, who controls 100 paths, has obtained the qualification to apply as a reserve member of the Eternal Hall. Do you want to apply? The voice in the dark sounded. Eternal Hall. Yi Tian was puzzled. It was the first time he heard this name, so he didn't know it at all and didn't know how to answer. So, Yi Tian asked, what is the Eternal Palace? The mysterious voice sounded again. The Eternal Palace is a force established by some eternal controllers. Except for the eternal controllers who can join, only a few peak legend lords can join, and the 3,000 monuments are both a chance and an assessment. After comprehending 100 Taoist monuments, I obtained this qualification. However, I want to truly join the Eternal Hall. You must complete other assessments before you can become one of the members of the Eternal Hall. The Eternal Temple built by the Eternal Master. Yi Tian knows very well how terrifying such a force is. If he joins the Eternal Palace, it will be of great help to become the Eternal Master. So, he immediately said, I want to apply to become a reserve member of the Eternal Temple. Wow! A golden scroll appeared in front of Yi Tian. Yi Tian held it in his hand, and after opening it, 3 requirements appeared on it. Requirement 1. Control 300 roads. Requirement 2. The Eternal will reaches the 8th level. Requirement 3. Break through the third floor of Daoyu Tower. Yi Tian knows Daoyu Pagoda. It is located in the third Daoyu of Daoyu City. Daoyu Tower can test his own strength and hone his combat effectiveness. Because reaching the peak Legend Realm Lord, it is difficult to fight unscrupulously, and there is no way to arrange a formation to condense the opponent of the peak Legend Realm Lord. Therefore, the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm can only exercise his combat power unless he fights with other lords of the Peak Legend Realm. The Daoyu Tower is the place where the Eternal Controller is established, so it is possible to condense opponents one by one and let the Peak Legendary Realm Lord test the combat power. According to his understanding, the opponents on the first floor of Daoyu Pagoda are comparable to the third level of the Peak Legend Realm Lords, and the opponents on the second floor are comparable to the third level of the Peak Legendary Realm Lords between the third and fourth levels. It is comparable to the fourth level of the Peak Legend Lord. Therefore, it is difficult to break through the third floor of Daoyu Tower. Yi Tian does not have to complete all 3 requirements before he can join the Eternal Palace, he only needs to complete 2 at will. Strictly speaking, this is not too demanding. For example, the 4th level or 5th level Peak Legend Realm Lords may be able to satisfy 2 of them, but they may not have the opportunity to join the Eternal Hall, because the Peak Legendary Realm Lords cannot find the Eternal Controller, nor the Eternal Temple. Everything depends on chance. And this time, Yi Tian understood 100 stels, controlled 100 taos, and met the conditions, so he was invited by Eternal Palace to participate in further assessment. Some 5th level Peak Legendary Realm Lords do not control 100 Dao, so even if they come to Dao City, they do not meet the conditions. At this time, Yi Tian was wondering if the white-bearded old man was a member of the Eternal Palace. The white-bearded old man knew several Eternal Controllers and became friends with the Eternal Controllers. If the white-bearded old man wanted to join the Eternal Hall, it would not be difficult. After you go out, visit the white-bearded old man and ask about the situation. Yi Tian secretly said. Immediately, he looked at his surroundings. The place where he is now should be the core area of Daoyu City, where there is a big purple tree, standing in endless time and space. And he is under the tree now. He sat cross-legged under the big tree, comprehended, and found that the big tree made him understand the supreme skill of creating time and space more quickly. Moreover, he has a feeling that he can only come to this place once, unless he joins the Eternal Hall, he can come often. He can go to the third Daoyu area at any time, and he can enter the Daoyu Tower at any time in the future. Even if the Daoyu City is closed, he can enter the Daoyu Tower for assessment. For flowers. Therefore, he doesn't want to waste time going to Daoyu Tower to test his combat power. It is here to comprehend and cultivate, until the city of Taoism is closed, this opportunity must be grasped. Yi Tian began to work hard to comprehend, and with the help of this mysterious purple tree, he continued to comprehend the supreme skill of creating time and space. Time passed slowly, the purple tree exuded a large amount of purple aura, pouring into Yi Tian's body, and this purple aura enhanced his spiritual light perception many times. Moreover, the fusion of time and space has become very easy at this moment. Immediately, Yi Tian disbanded the other duplicate bodies, condensed the duplicate bodies here, and cultivated here at the same time, without wasting any chance. 1 eternity after another has passed. Soon, the city of Daoyu will be closed. It's a pity, it's going to be moved out. Yi Tian sighed. The next moment, his body was moved out. Not only him, but other Peak Legend Lords have been moved out, one by one appearing in the void area. However, Yi Tian can sense the position of Daoyu Pagoda at this time, and he can enter Daoyu Pagoda at any time, which is one of the benefits of the reserve members of Eternal Hall. Endless Lord, how is the harvest? Lord Mingyan appeared beside Yi Tian and asked. Yi Tian smiled and said, the harvest is okay, but unfortunately the time is too short. Lord Mingyan nodded again and again. Yeah, the time is too short. If you let me enter a few more times, I may have the hope of completing the fusion of time and space and stepping into the second level of the Peak Legend Lord. Let's go back. Yi Tian said. Immediately, the two tore apart the void and returned to the boundless sea. After coming back, Yi Tian continued to retreat and comprehend in boundless heaven and earth, and Lord Mingyan also continued to retreat and cultivate, digesting all his insights and gains in the city of Taoism this time. Before you know it, dozens of eternity epochs have passed. This day, Yi Tian finally created the third time-space supreme skill, and it was an extremely powerful supreme skill, surpassing the other two time-space supreme technologies. Chapter 1799 Visit the white-bearded old man again. Infinite world. Yi Tian stood there, his body constantly expanding. +1. 318,000 times, 10,000 times, billion times, trillion times. As the body swelled, Yi Tian's breath became more and more terrifying, and one punch could shatter everything. Boom! Boundless heaven and earth began to tremble, as if they were about to explode with Yi Hao's power. However, boundless heaven and earth is a treasure land that can carry the lords of the Peak Legend realm, so no matter how Yi Tian tries his moves here, he can't destroy boundless heaven and earth. I saw that Yi Tian kept making moves, and even cooperated with the touch of the void to practice moves here. Soon, Yi Tian returned to his normal form. This time-space supreme skill is very powerful. Although I can continue to grow stronger, no matter how big it becomes, the increase in combat effectiveness can only be so high, but this 907 time-space supreme skill has also increased my strength a lot, and enhanced defense. Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, he named this time-space supreme technique Qiandao True Body. Because this time-space supreme technique combines the power of 100 paths, and integrates into the body in a special way, turning it into this huge body, which makes its own strength skyrocket. Although there is no integration of 1,000 Dao, but there is hope to integrate 1,000 Dao in the future, so it is not impossible to call it 1,000 Dao True Body. Thousands of true bodies, at the beginning of the void, nothingness walks. Yi Tian now possesses these three supreme time and space skills, and his strength is definitely a powerhouse in the third level of the Peak Legendary Lord. Go to Daoyu Tower to test your strength. Yi Tian's mind moved, and his body escaped into the inaccessible Dao Domain Pagoda. Daoyu Tower. Yi Tian came in, but he could only stay in Daoyu Pagoda. If he wanted to enter Daoyu City through Daoyu Tower, it was impossible. The first floor of Daoyu Tower. Yi Tian came here, and soon an opponent was born under the power of Daoyu Pagoda. The Daoyu Tower is really amazing, even the Lord of the Peak Legend can condense it, and even I can't see that he is not a real creature. Yi Tian was extremely surprised. When the opponent condensed his shot, the battle started instantly. This opponent should also be the third level combat power of the Peak Legendary Lord, but it is a weaker third level. Therefore, Yi Tian completely suppressed the opponent as soon as they fought. In order to quickly defeat the opponent, Yi Tian used 1,000 real bodies, which turned into countless times larger, and the terrifying power combined with the touch of the void, and the terrifying power broke out. Boom! A big purple hand covering the sky and the earth shattered the void where the opponent was, directly hitting the opponent's space-time supreme body to shatter, and then condensed again. In this way, the opponent's body was blown up by Yi Tian again and again. In the end, the opponent's body could no longer condense. Yi Tian passed the first floor. Then, Yi Tian came to the second floor of Daoyu Pagoda. The strength of the opponent on this floor was terrifying, between the third and fourth levels of the Peak Legend Lord. As soon as this opponent appeared, Yi Tian felt extremely terrifying pressure. Unexpected. The opponent has shot. The speed is so fast that there is almost no time limit. Although the attack speed of the Peak Legendary Realm Lord was very fast, the opponent's attack speed seemed to be limited, and it even broke the time limit. Before the attack, a punch had already landed on Yi Tian. What does this mean? It's like Yi Tian sensed that the opponent was about to shoot, but before he sensed, his fist had already landed on his body, but he didn't know it and was directly hit. This is an attack that transcends time. Unless you surpass the opponent in time attainments or realm, it is difficult to avoid such an attack. This opponent's attack naturally can't reach such a level, but it's not too far behind. Boom! Yi Tian was knocked into the air, and he didn't have time to react. Immediately, Yi Tian's defense was fully opened, and he even used nothingness to walk, but he still couldn't dodge the opponent's attack and was hit again. So, Yi Tian prepared to attack the opponent with all his strength. It's a pity, no matter how Yi Tian attacks, he can't fall on the opponent, even if he uses a wide range of attacks, he can't hurt the opponent. Although the opponent's attack is not very exaggerated, it does not reach the fourth level of the Peak Legend Lord. But in a time, Yi Tian will definitely lose. Soon, Yi Tian realized why the other party had such a means, not because of strength, but because of will. The opponent's will is probably half-stepped into the 8th order eternal will. Yi Tian guessed. With such a level of will, you can pass through the hole, and before he reacts, he will attack it, so as to perceive his attack in advance, so as to avoid it. Unless Yi Tian's will also reaches such a level, or his strength reaches the 4th level of the Peak Legendary Realm Lord, he can easily defeat the opponent, otherwise he can't help the opponent at all. After a long time, Yi Tian chose to give up this tower break at the cost of serious injury. In the following years, Yi Tian broke into the Dao Domain Pagoda again and again. He knew that he couldn't get past it, but being able to play against such an opponent was also a big opportunity, and there was no such opportunity in the outside world. He can enter the Daoyu Tower again and again, which is equivalent to finding a free sparring for himself. He naturally has to seize such a good opportunity and not waste such a sparring opportunity. This day, a copy of Yi Tian's body came to Suyang Mountain. He was going to ask the white-bearded old man about the Eternal Hall. After all, he really didn't know much about the Eternal Hall, and it was limited to the little information that Daoyu City told him. Suyang Mountain. Yi Tian came, got the permission of the white-bearded old man, and entered Suyang Mountain. I have seen the old man with white beard, Yi Tian said politely. When the white-bearded old man saw Yi Tian, he was slightly surprised. Lord Endless, your strength has improved very quickly. I am afraid that you are relatively powerful at the third level of the peak legendary lord. Yi Tian was not surprised that his own strength was seen through, and nodded slightly. I have indeed reached the third level of the peak legendary realm lord, but it is still far from your realm of 5.8 and the white-bearded old man. What's the matter with me this time? The white-bearded old man asked. Yi Tian's face became serious and asked, Old man with white beard, do you know the Eternal Palace? Eternal Palace. The white-bearded old man stared at Yi Tian in surprise. When you entered the city of Taoism, you successfully understood 100 Taoist monuments. Yes. Yi Tian nodded. The white-bearded old man even knew about the 100 Taoist monuments, and it seemed that he must know the Eternal Hall. I'm really surprised. I didn't expect that you have been practicing for a long time, but you have already controlled 100 paths. The white-bearded old man was shocked. You don't know anything about the Eternal Palace, so you want to know a little about eternity from me. The situation of the temple, you asked the right person. I do know the Eternal Temple very well, and I can tell you about it. Yi Tian listened carefully and listened to the story of the white-bearded old man. Chapter 1800 The Sea of Madness, is it a forbidden place or a treasure land? The white-bearded old man said, the Eternal Palace was established by a group of eternal controllers. As for the number of eternal controllers in the Eternal Palace, it is not convenient for me to disclose. You will know when you join the Eternal Palace. The power of the Eternal Hall is not much binding. It can be said that it is an idle organization. The purpose of its establishment is to cultivate more eternal controllers. Of course, not the powerful peak legend lords can join the Eternal Hall, and even the Eternal the Temple does not know. There are several channels to join the Eternal Temple, such as the recommendation of the Eternal Controller, how to pass the city of Taoism, or several other ways. Joining the Eternal Palace will have many opportunities and benefits, and I am a member of the Eternal Palace. Moreover, after joining the Eternal Hall, you can even ask the Eternal Controller once, and you can also see more secrets. I suggest that you do your best to join the Eternal Hall. Of course, if your goal is only the Lord of the Peak Legend Realm and you are not ready to become the Eternal Master, then it does not make much sense to join or not. 1. Subsequently, 29. The white-bearded old man said a lot of news and information about the Eternal Palace, which made Yi Tian know more about the Eternal Palace. For Yi Tian, the Eternal Palace is not too restrictive, so he can join. He doesn't like to be restrained. Moreover, as the white-bearded old man said, if he wants to become the Eternal Controller, he will have a better chance if he joins the Eternal Hall. After joining the Eternal Hall, he has the opportunity to learn more secrets, understand the things that need to be paid attention to when attacking the Eternal Master, how to avoid danger, and so on. If you don't understand anything, go to attack the Eternal Controller, and the end is likely to fall. Afterwards, Yi Tian played a game of chess with the white-bearded old man. After playing chess, he was ready to leave Suyang Mountain. Before leaving, the white-bearded old man made a suggestion to Yi Tian. Lord Endless, with your current state, if you want to improve, it will take a long time. I suggest you go to the Sea of Madness, maybe it will help you. Crazy Demon Sea, I remembered it, thank the white-bearded old man for reminding me. After Yi Tian left Suyang Mountain, he went to investigate the records about the Sea of Madness. Soon, he investigated the Sea of Madness. There are so many places in the Void area, the Mad Demon Sea is not well known, so Yi Tian doesn't know much about it, so he must investigate it carefully. Not long after, a document appeared in Yi Tian's hands. After reading it, Yi Tian knew enough about Mad Demon Sea. The Sea of Madness is not a treasure land, but a Jedi. After any creature enters the Sea of Madness, its will be annihilated, and it will die completely. Even the ordinary lord of the legendary realm will not dare to enter, otherwise the will not be able to bear it. Even the lords of the peak legend realm are reluctant to enter the Sea of Madness, because if they stay in the Sea of Madness for a long time, even the lords of the peak legend realm will fall into a state of madness. What is the state of insanity? That is like a madman, unable to control his temper, and his will is very confused. In the eyes of others, he is a lunatic. If a peak legend realm lord becomes a lunatic, it will be a disaster, and even normal cultivation cannot be done. Because no one is willing to enter the Sea of Madness, naturally the Sea of Madness is not well known, and no one pays attention. That is a forbidden place. The old man with white beard actually suggested that I go to the Sea of Madness. Yi Tian was a little curious. He is not afraid of madness, and as a third-level peak legend realm lord, he will not have problems as soon as he enters the Madness Sea. So, after knowing the location of the Sea of Madness, he sent a duplicate body to the Sea of Madness. Crazy sea. This is a red ocean shrouded in blood clouds. In fact, it is an eternal sea, but it is an eternal sea that has not developed. Because the Sea of Madness does not have any living beings, without living beings, it is impossible to give birth to powerful practitioners, and the Sea of Madness cannot grow, and it has always been like this. Gradually, the Sea of Madness was not recognized as the eternal sea, and it was only regarded as a forbidden place. But in fact, its essence is an eternal sea. There is still such a place to be born in the void area. Yi Tian was very curious. Immediately, he stepped into the Sea of Madness. As soon as he entered the Sea of Madness, countless strange powers poured into his will, and it seemed to disintegrate his willpower. Even the will of the 7th Order peak is vaguely uncomfortable and on the verge of suffering. No wonder even the lords of the peak legend realm are reluctant to come here. I have reached the 3rd level of the peak legendary realm lord's combat power. Although the will is also the peak of the 7th level, I have come a long way in the peak of the 7th level, but even so, it is still the same. Pain, if other peak legend realm lords would dare to stay here for a long time. 1. Yi Tian secretly said. He did not leave immediately, but forcibly held back the pain, sat cross-legged, and devoted himself to the confrontation with the strange power of the Sea of Madness. Suyang Mountain. The white-bearded old man's eyes seemed to pass through infinite time and space, and saw Yi Tian who was in the Sea of Madness. Endless Lord, the Sea of Madness is a good place for opportunity. If you stick to it, you will definitely gain a lot. I hope you can stick to it. The white-bearded old man muttered. If Yi Tian couldn't persist, no matter how fast he cultivated before, there was no 907 method worthy of his attention. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian continued to cultivate in the Sea of Madness, endured the invasion of the Sea of Madness. His will was constantly being consumed, but he also became more and more tenacious. In fact, after cultivating for a period of time, Yi Tian had a general understanding of the situation. The Sea of Madness is indeed a forbidden place, but it is also a place of great opportunity. It can help to temper the will and make the will continue to improve. Perhaps this can make his will reach the level of half a step in 8th order. If the will is raised to the half-step 8th order, the degree of time-space fusion will be improved, and his strength may be able to break through the 2nd floor of the Daoyu Tower. Before you know it, an eternity of years has passed. For the lords of the peak legend realm, it was only a short period of time, and the Sea of Madness and Devils cultivated for a long time, and it was very long. After cultivating for an eternal year, Yi Tian's willpower has been tempered to be extremely tough, and his willpower has improved a lot. Then, one eternity year after another passed. In the end, Yi Tian cultivated here for an eternal era. After cultivating for so long, Yi Tian finally gradually became familiar with the environment here, and could almost continue cultivating forever. According to this kind of penance, he may not need too long to raise his willpower to the level of half a step in 8th rank.